Tsunami and left sickness, danger valley. Quick to transgress, playing with fire continually. The retinal scans as time advance, so that's technology. Where this up only one knows the Almighty. Some serial killers company woman laboratory. Eugenics project side effect, torment the baby. Medicinal bag of chips we feed the greedy dummy. Marionette of the money power hungry. Already, insanity tail a customizing species. First the other interfere where they should not be. Backfire, sit down patients in a them lobby. There's repercussion for just the acts of iniquity. In your cup of indignation, there's no pity. There's no remorse and no way out and no sympathy. Continue to run your mouth and now you're gonna see. Suppress with your people life, safety wise, money wise, you itching to be destructive, never have nothing good to give, blatant with your negative, wolf away, wolf loading, wickedly inquisitive, my life is your prerogative, no need to be instructive, don't try tell me how to live, their vision is so distorted, their mission was interrupted, curtain coming down and them, you don't get your moment of fame. Things they call an act of God, merely an act of man trying to be God. We set up that anti-life of illusion and invited the whole world to them yard. Subliminal messages intruding so rude when invading the thoughts. Them one go silence the lamp, but the lamp protected by light hand. An act of God, merely an act of man trying to be God. We set up that anti-life of illusion and invited the whole world to them yard. Subliminal messages intruding so rude when invading the thoughts. The one go silence the lamp of the lamp protected by night hand.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Can I be heard, Mishpachah? Can I be heard?
They want to turn your mic up just a little bit. Can I be heard, family? Can I be heard, Mishpachah? Yeah. All right. One more time, Brother Shay. Let's hear you.
Can I be heard?
Yeah, that's better.
All right.
Better. Hallelujah.
All right. Shalom, Elder. Check.
Shalom, Brother Yonah.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom, Elder. Shalom. All right, hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to another Friday Night Live, where we can get together and hopefully wake our people up. Now, I had a long day. Day was perfect up until the last 2 hours before class.
Uh-oh.
I was working on getting the video saved because it's about, I want to say about 40 to 45 videos that I had to chop up and cut up and put together. So a lot of editing went into it. And all of a sudden my computer told me, no more space. I says, what? So I had to go and, shuffle some things around, grab my external hard drive, pull the video back on it. Then I went to hit save to start, putting it together to bring it to one file. And it wouldn't save. It just stayed there spinning. So I had to play around with it for a while. Then I hit save, then it delete half of the video. I had to go back in again. I was like, man, okay. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep it simple. I guess what I'll do is later I will edit this video again and put it out on Rumble so the Mishpachah can have it in full effect. But tonight you'll get, I guess I'll say you'll get a taste of it tonight. So I'm ready. How about you, Rebbe?
Yeah, long day too myself. Been busy all day, shuffling things, trying to get things done on the homestead. It's not easy, but it's getting done. It's getting done. I'm grateful to be here. I'm sorry about what's going on with you. I guess we can always talk about, what you can do to remedy that problem that you have. But I'm doing well. And I hope the Mishpachah is doing well too. It's been quite a week so far, and I'm grateful for another day of life here in the land of the living. I'm just giving our Elohim all the praise and glory that's due unto his name. Trying to get as many videos uploaded back on Rumble as possible at the same time. Trying to give a few little shorts here and there for the new YouTube channel. It's only going to be shorts, Mishpachah, because the way YouTube is set up, if you want to do regular full-length videos, they need your information, certain information, right? And so when you give that information, they can be able to shut down your channel again if they want to. So I'd rather not go through all that harassment. Nevertheless, the whole point of us doing the videos to begin with is to open the eyes of our people and to give our people some understanding as much as possible while we still have the chance to do so in so-called democratic republic. The combination, democratic republic, right? So greetings worldwide, Mishpachah. Down in the Caribbean, I want to say shalom. In South and Central America, shalom to each and every one of you. In these divided states of America, I'm sure Brother Shea is going to go into that. Shalom. Shalom to the families across the border in Canada, over in the UK, in Africa, in Europe, the Middle East, the Far East, and every island of the sea. We say shalom, 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 and happy Friday Night Live. I hope everybody's doing well. Hey, but before we get started with prayer, I had sent out emails, plural, to many of the Mishpachah to join to support our sister who has lost her husband, for the funeral, the memorial, we call it memorial. And unfortunately, I'm telling you, Hebrews don't know how to behave themselves. They came into the room. A lot of them came in with their phones, just open up, just talking. Even when I was given the eulogy or the words of life, It was very distracting.
Mm-hmm.
And I recognized some of the names that was there. And it's sad and shameful that that's the kind of people we are. Very ghetto, in the way. It's like, I don't know if some people deserve to have technology at all because they don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
I can understand if you're 80 years old and you're still trying to figure things out, but most of the people have their phones and they're just blah, 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 just running their mouth, and it's just, and the sad thing about it is that we were supposed to, the brother, everything about him was Israelite, and we were supposed to represent our king as Israelites. You know what I mean? We were
Yeah.
supposed to represent our king as Israelites to show, because most of the people that came in there were from this assembly. Most of the people was from this assembly. And it was just sad to see how noisy it was. People were just talking, they got their news on, We had a funeral, a memorial, and there's a news piece in the background about the murder, the heathen Gentile that shot up in Georgia, the school.
Mm-hmm.
You heard that too, right, Brother Shay?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Even before it started, because as soon as the brother went live, I'll look at my phone and I saw all the mics was hot, and I went on there right away. I put in the chat about 10 times. Don't forget to mute your mics, mute your phones because we're going live. And the sad thing about it is, let me fix this video here. The sad thing about it is that while they are in the, I don't know what place they were in, the assembly hall or whatever they were in, and they had the television on there, I guarantee the people who were there can hear everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And
I
that's
don't
just
even know
that's just
because
sad.
it was a little hard for me to really say what needed to be said because of all the distractions, And I'm thinking, is this how Israelites behave themselves? It's like they don't have discipline. When you're coming on Zoom, you got to mute your phone, or if you're coming if you go to court, you got to turn your phone off. This is a memorial for a brother who lost his life. Is that what you want at your memorial? You want an embarrassment? You want us to show up all hood-like and running our mouth and playing things in the background? Is that how we represent our kingdom?
It's just
I'm
sad.
sure if they were going to church, they would have had more respect than the way that they behaved themselves. And I was so embarrassed by it. I was embarrassed. I was like, are these the people that I'm teaching? Because the brother spoke highly of the assembly, the ministry, and his wife. She asked all the right questions. You know what I mean? You look at his memorial page, and you can see he stressed on the Hebrew. He came into the marvelous light, and he wanted that to be said, to be mentioned. But here we are. We have to be ghetto fabulous, right? We got to be ghetto fabulous even at a funeral. And sad to say, I'm thinking, if I have to oversee anything, probably just keep it quiet, because why would I want to open up the room to a lot of ghetto fabulous people who don't know how to utilize a phone properly? Come on now. Half the time, and Brother Benjamin used to complain, Brother King, especially Brother King and Brother Benjamin, complain about Israelites who had open mics. Open mic.
Hearing all their business.
Like, so and so, your mic is hot. Turn it off. And you just keep running the mouth. Like you come into prayer.
What they do is they get onto the live stream or to the call, and they put their phone down and they walk around and do what they have to do.
Well, they're not supposed to be. Yeshua would have kicked all of those Hebrews out. He would have grabbed them by the waist and just pitched them right out. Because when he had to heal Jairus' daughter, there was a bunch of clowns that came into the room. Bunch of clowns. And he had to tell them, hey, you got to go. You got to get them out. How are we expect to represent the kingdom and to have miracles and signs and wonders and all this stuff, and we're not even serious about this stuff? Anyway, don't let me have to come back and make noise, because the next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to start print screening the stuff and calling names. Calling names. You know what I mean? Calling names. It's not Shabbat Shalom, my brother King. Start calling names. Because we can do better than that. You know, if we want to be hood, go somewhere else. We are here to learn and to be disciplined. And, you know, I can understand if it was 5-year-old, 10-year-old, or 15-year-old or something like that. Not even 15-year-old, but adults at a funeral? Come on now. Anyway, Elder, if you don't mind, let's have a word of prayer. And hopefully we'll know how to behave ourselves, even in a chat.
Oh yes, Brother Yona. I observe, but I give thanks. Almighty, our Father in heaven, we ask forgiveness for our sins as we come before you, dear Father. On the behalf of this family, the house of Israel, Father, we pray that thou may be merciful unto us as we come before your presence tonight. Be with us and guide us throughout the service. Those that are not feeling well among us, those that have situation and problem, I pray that thou may remember them and touch their bodies and do miracles in their lives, and I'll cause some to repent and give you thanks and praise. We thank you for Brother Oshe tonight with the words that you have given unto him. We ask you, Father, to speak to him, through him, for him, and bless him. Give him the strength and the courage. Let your spirit give him the ability and the power that he can speak fluently. And also Brother Yona, as they join together, be among them, Father. Build them up and guide them and protect them on this platform. Allow everything to go fluently tonight, that your name will be praised forever and ever, because we ask it through your Son Yeshua, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Elder.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, it's a privilege to be an Israelite. It's a very good opportunity, and I don't think sometimes we realize who we are. I think sometimes we forget that, and we class ourselves as the same heathens that we're supposed to separate ourselves from. And I think we need to realize that and make the changes every single day. It's a daily thing that we have to do, Mishpachai. It's not something that you say today and then put it aside and hopefully it can run the course. It's something that you have to do daily. So I hope we can make those changes. So tonight,
Brother Shay, sorry.
Yes.
Having the words, I had scriptures lined up to really go in and to share for the living, because there are a lot of people there that don't know who we are and things of that nature. They actually believe in going to heaven and all the other stuff. So I wanted to give not a whole long speech, but just enough words to give them something to think about. And even while I'm speaking, the person who operated the Zoom itself were actually trying to run the cameras at the same time. He was juggling these things.
He was multitasking.
So it was hard for him. And I'm wondering if he was embarrassed, like I was embarrassed. Believe in me, I was really embarrassed to see how much noise Israelites were making in the room. And, no matter how many times you say mute the stuff, it's just people just kept coming at it all the time. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, next time I will make sure that I embarrass some good people.
All right, Mishpachah, tonight's topic is political wars, because the atmosphere is ripe. The time that we are in, this is what we see currently, what's going on. And I wanted to kind of bring out some things to kind of help our people understand where we are. So political wars, the fall of Babylon, because America is Babylon, Mishpachah. We talk about this many, many times. And as you see on the screen there, you have the continent, and it has the words written across it, Gotham America, or Goth America. And it's a play on words, and we'll see when we get into the slides why I put that day. But as you can see, all the different flags that are flying throughout the country. You have in the so-called Democratic states, or the blue states, they're pushing equality, and they're pushing the sodomite agenda. And in the Republic states, the red states, they're pushing war and many other things. But there's a twist to all of this, and I'm going to try to break it down and show you that they're all the same peas in the same pod. And you can see the two characters that are front and center on the screen, on the big stage that we call America. And the world is watching. And we have one that every time this person gets in front of the microphone, this person is always laughing. There's not a clip that you don't see her laughing. And you know, I sat there while I was making this video, and I'm like, she just laughs in every video. What is it? Is it that she's nervous or something? Or because I remember taking a class, and it was about I forgot what it's called, but it's like when you are in the public, like public speaking. I think it's called public speaking, and you're talking, you know, to a crowd, and there are certain things that you don't do to annoy the crowd. You know, like repeat certain words, keep saying stuff like you know, you're repeating stuff because that is a form of nervousness, or you jittery, you're moving, so I guess her form is maybe laughing, and it's just a bad look that a person would have because it just comes off wrong. And then we have the other gentleman over there. He's considered a vigilante because he's trying to, I guess, bring everything back together to make America great again. And we're going to see all of this play out tonight. So let's begin.
It's like watching a comic book, huh?
Yeah. So tonight will be a very interesting and important class. Tonight we will explore and discuss what is really going on and look at the agenda of America's true political future. We will talk about how we as Israel fit into all of this, and hopefully can focus on the most important thing at hand, which is repentance and restoration of the Most High's laws. Because at the end of the day, that is what we are commissioned to do. I don't know about the rest of the world. You as content creators or a person who makes stuff, you understand when you create something or you make something, there's a purpose for it. And the Most High made vessels of honor and vessels of dishonor. So in the circumstance of us being vessels of honor, our purpose is to always be pure, clean, righteous, holy, set apart, you know, be that shining light. But for some reason, sometimes we find ourselves as the dirty dirt on the ground, and we look like everything else. We look like the vessels of dishonor. So hopefully we can learn and to separate ourselves, just like, for example, Rebbe was talking about last night's calling, where, was it last night? No, it was yesterday, sorry.
During the day.
Yesterday afternoon, where the little things that you do defines the biggest moments. So just, you know, it just shows you where you are in life. Now there's a quote here, read that for me.
The whole world is watching America, and America is watching TV.
And that is very true. Very, very true. because we are a people that love entertainment. You know, I was flipping through some videos, and the theme of all the videos was basically feeling good, looking good, sounding good. And that's what everyone wants to do. And it's nothing wrong with wanting to feel good, look good. But at the same time, what is the purpose behind it? If the whole world is watching us, and when I say us, I'm talking about those of us live in this country, because we're all in captivity in this country. And as I always say, America is the power company that runs the world, because their dollar is still strong, their military is still strong. Until that crashes, to bring in a one world system, that's the only thing that we're waiting for, is to take away the arms. Did I say correctly? Arms?
Yep.
Is your weapons to fight back? Arms? Okay, so not arms.
Arms.
So arms is money.
Money, yeah.
Okay, arms.
But then the way arms is going right now, there's a lot of money involved in it too with the
Yeah, because the movement is to take away your ability to fight back. So they're pushing this narrative of live action shooters and shooting here and shooting there and mass shooting. And it's only happening here because this is the only country that allows its citizens to bear arms at whatever cost. So they have to break that down, number one. And number two, they have to crash the economic system to bring in the one world government. Everything is in place already. Trust me, everything is ready. It's just a matter of turning the switch. And they are doing little things behind the scenes, passing laws, amendments, that at night you go to sleep, the next morning you wake up, it's something different. It's like, wait a minute, when did they pass that? And they do it so slick under the radar that you don't even realize that they're passing something else, because they will say, in the name of this, we're going to do this. But when you look under all of the little fine print, it's a total different story.
Check this out, Brother Shay. This evening I was looking at the news, and they reported that Trump has talked about bringing in Elon Musk as one of his
advisors,
his cabinet people, to streamline the government, to come in and drain the swamp, to clean things out, waste and all that stuff, to get rid of all of that stuff. And Musk is like, you don't have to pay me. I don't need a title. I just come on in and do what needs to be done. So yeah, that like you said, things happen overnight. And imagine you have him, then you got RFK coming in there too, right?
RFK Jr.
To deal with the medical issues, all the pharmaceutical garbage. He's been suing everybody. He sued the CDC, every medical facility. This guy has been suing. He's been winning too. He was
spilling the beans. Yeah, he was spilling the beans, and he's a target. But even though he's a target, because sometimes what they do, a lot of people don't realize that you are a pawn in their system. So they'll use you for a while, and then when you think that you're still accessible, they'll get rid of you. So they used him and his family for some time, and now that a lot of them realizing that, hey, this is not what I signed up for, and they're trying to speak out, they're starting to drop like flies. And we'll get to take a look at some of those things. So we are in a season of politics. America's largest gang is at war with each other. Not the Bloods and the Crips, Mishpachah, but the Republicans versus the Democrats. You can see they color-coded beautifully. Although they fight against each other, the cause in which they are fighting for is the same cause. Okay, and we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. Equality, the push for abortion, the rise of homosexuals, and the removal of the law. Big Pharma and all these different things we'll touch and see. Basically, America is in a state of full rebellion. That's what it is. Because again, everything that our scrolls have told us by the prophets are coming true. There's no other book out there that has, basically say what was going to happen from the beginning. You have some people who try to piece things together, but when you really dig into it, they're always tapping into our scrolls as some source, but then they're going to want to downplay it and say it's not real.
There was in the news also the political soothsayer, some guy talking about he predicted based on some formula that him and some other guy came up with. They said that he's always been right, and he predicted that Kamala is going to be the next president of the United States. So he's the groundhog. He's the groundhog for the politics.
Who knows? She might be. She just might be, because I was watching another video on her. Actually, it was two videos, and someone pointed it out where did she just call herself the president, but then she misspoke and says, "I'm sorry, I meant vice president." So sometimes people say things not realizing that they're are just following a script. But we'll see though. We'll see what happens. So you see the donkey over here, and then they have Dumbo, the elephant, on the other side. And that's what they have as their mascots.
Mm-hmm.
You have Donkey off of Shrek.
Yeah, that donkey actually fits her with the teeth. Showing all the time.
As Israelites, or as an Israelite, we are not, Mishpachah, supposed to be voting any other nationality over our people. Let me say it again. As an Israelite, we are not supposed to be voting any other nationality over our people. We are to just abide by the laws of the land while occupying the time here in captivity by keeping all the laws of our Elohim. And I'll break that down a little bit. Deuteronomy 17 and verse 15.
You shall in any wise set him king over you, whom Yahuwah your Elohim shall choose. One from among your brethren shall you set king over you. You mayest not set a stranger over you, which is not your brother.
So it's in our laws, Mishpachah. The Most High understand why he said this, because it is a bloodline thing. It's a heritage thing. Nobody's going to take someone from a different nationality and put them on the throne of England. It won't happen.
It's not going to happen. It won't happen. Yeah.
You won't see one of Ham's son go to Asia and sit on one of the dynasties or the emperor. It won't happen. So it's a bloodline thing. The Most High doesn't want any other nationality ruling over us, but one from our own people. Voting someone who is not an Israelite into power is the same as setting a stranger over you. And that's basically what you see here. Our people has been misled being in captivity, thinking that we have rights in a place that we basically don't have no rights. And we have a lot of examples in the Bible when you look at, for example, Joseph. Joseph was what? The second in command in Egypt when he got sold into slavery. You think he had rights? He was put into prison. And that's just one example. So in captivity, we have no rights. Look at Daniel, thrown in the lion's den. He didn't say, wait a minute, I'm the top wisest advisor. That didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever we are today, Mishpachah, whether it's on an island, in the mountains, in the desert, in the snow somewhere, on the plains of this continent, Africa, Asia, wherever you are, and you are an Israelite, you're in captivity. That's as plain and simple as it is. Because, again, we don't have our own king, we don't have our own land, we don't have our own government set up. The Most High allowed his laws to remain so we can have that. as a beacon of light back to him. All right, so stay out of heathens' businesses or business. Stay out of heathens' business. Psalms 106 and verse 35. Let's start there.
But were mingled among the heathen and learned their works.
That word is referring to us. We, Mishpachah, were mingled among the heathen. And guess what? We learn everything that they do. Again, we want to have their holidays. We want to dress like they dress, the music, the food. And now we want to get into the politics that they have. Well, guess what? We have no say. And no matter if we think that we're voting or trying to get into this, rat race that they have, it doesn't matter. Our word has no say in anything. Even in the very Star Spangled Banner and the Constitution and all those things that they have, it always tells you that there's Deuteronomy 28 in all of this stuff. It just proves who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah 10 and verse 2, the first part.
Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen.
And that's what he's trying to tell us. We are not supposed to be in their business. Stay out of it. When they have their conversations about politics, just give them the thumbs up and keep it moving. People always ask me, you voting? I just shake my head and says, I'm voting for the right person. I keep it moving. My vote is in heaven. I'm waiting for those clouds to open up, and I want to see a big rock without hands. Psalms 44 and verse 11.
You have given us like sheep, appointed for meat, and has scattered us among the heathen.
And we see it. Israel is the only nation again that were known and called sheep. So we are sheep appointed for meat. What does that mean? That means that we are like caged animals just waiting to be slaughtered. We're not.
We're expendable. We're here to be used.
Right. We're like in a pen that's caged up because we're not free.
I think most people forget that we didn't come. We didn't come by choice to these countries, all the countries that we find ourselves. We didn't come here on Ellis Island. We did not. We all, whether you're from the Caribbean, South America, England, parts of Europe, even different parts of Africa, in Arabia, wherever we have been scattered, we did not come there because we said to ourselves, hey, I want to go there. No, we were brought there because of Deuteronomy 28, because of our disobedience.
Mm-hmm. And yes, Ima Batel, all people are not going to want to listen. You tell them don't vote, they can look at you sideways. And this is not for us to tell them that. It's just for us to bring the word to them. Once the word has transformed them, now you can make the adjustments. But I'm speaking to our people who have the understanding that we're not supposed to mix with these heathens, stay out of their business. Psalms 44 and verse 14 now.
Before I go into that, one of the places where you find a major issue or confusion is that our people who go to churches, whatever denomination it is, they receive a message from the pastors giving them this whole ideology that we should go out there and vote and things of that nature, not realizing that the pastors themselves, they don't study the Bible. I think the pastors hate the prophets because almost 90% of what the prophets talk about, they don't acknowledge. And so they have a serious issue, and they're selling our people this hope and change program that is not real. If they would tell the people what the Bible actually says, it will make a tremendous difference on our lives, our families, and everything else. That's basically where the politics should be. It should be Torah politics, Torah that makes the change within our lives. Psalms 44 and 14, you make us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people.
That's just sad because everywhere you look, you see the other nations shaking their head at us. We're just an astonishment, just like Deuteronomy 28. This is Deuteronomy 28 in the Psalms right here. The Most High, he puts, this is a witness. He puts where 2 or 3 witnesses are gathered. This is another witness here. Astar, are you a sister or a brother? Your comment is correct. A vote is an agreement, a covenant, whatever the policy you voted. So sister, okay. You voted, you were in agreement with it. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, that you're making a covenant. And whatever this person that you're supposedly voting for, whatever agenda they have, you're agreeing to it. That's right. And we're going to see tonight what these people have in store as far as their agendas, because they will put up a front. They'll come into the neighborhoods to show face. Yes, we want to make changes here. Come out and vote for us. And that's the last time you'll see them. And you go ahead and you vote for them. And the first thing to do is start to gentrify the neighborhood. You become homeless. Jobs are taken away. The whole atmosphere changes. It's not what you expect, because the world is on pace to go towards a one world system. A lot of people are not ready for it. So continuing of staying out of heathens' business, Deuteronomy 5 and verse 32.
It says, you shall observe to do, therefore, as you are, your Elohim have commanded you. You shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left.
We are not supposed to be making deals and trying to, because you see, one of the wisest men who ever lived did that. And you see what happened to him. The strange women came in and turned his heart, because he made a lot of political deals trying to bring things together. And a lot of our people try to get into business or in bed with other nations. And in doing so, if it's not about what the Most High has put down, it's always going to go wrong. We can have all the good intentions and say, we're going to make sure that this is going to work out perfect. But we're working with a clever enemy, Mishpachah. And he has been there from the beginning. And he knows exactly what buttons to push and who to send to you to sway you into doing something wrong. Luke chapter 19, verse 13.
And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come.
That is to the diaspora that he's telling us, while we're in captivity, to occupy till he come. The question is, what does he mean by occupy till he come? We're going to answer that. Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 13.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Elohim and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
And our job, our purpose is to always serve the Most High in righteousness. Again, we are vessels of honor. If the vessels of dishonor has a job to do, we have a job to do. Stop trying to do their job. Let us do our job. Let them do the dirty work. Let us do the clean work. But for some reason,
Shay, the only place we can really have political change is within our own households, in our families. We can't even get the right type of foods to be put on the shelf, right? When you go to the supermarket, I mean, you can't even get a group of people together to make that type of change, to get proper nutrition on the shelves, right? A lot of things we just can't do. But the only place we can really have influence and to see changes within our own households. That's where we got to start. That's why Elohim made those words the way it is, because he knew we were going to go into captivity. And everything that he's telling us is just to stay with his word. Stay with his word. It says, you shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left. And then he says to occupy till he comes. And you just pointed it out, keep his commandments. And the commandments is all the words that came out of the Most High's mouth. Not this chopped up stuff that you find in a Christian church.
Right. And that's how it is. It's always, it's like you have to bargain. We're not supposed to be bargaining. We're just supposed to follow and, step for step. But instead, we want to compromise, and we want to, it's like a child. The parent says, "Do this," and you're like, "Well, give me 5 more minutes. Give me 2 more minutes." And that's where we see the issues, because we want to look at the other nations and be just like them, which makes no sense. So then what's our business? What do we consider our business? The book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verses 4 to verses 6.
Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem to Babylon. Build you houses, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. Take you wives, and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that you may be increased there, that you may be increased there, that you may be increased there, and not diminish.
Hallelujah. And we're going to see why it is that Jeremiah the prophet is putting it this way. Let me open up. Open this up here. And let's look at the book of Leviticus, chapter 26. We'll see why Jeremiah said what he said. Leviticus 26 and verse 45.
Leviticus chapter, what did you say?
26 and verse 45.
26 and 45. But I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their Elohim. I am Yahweh.
So, hold on, let me make sure it's the right one. So this is the Most High here. This is the Most High here telling Israel here. He says, but I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the heathen. Because when we step out there, Mishpachah, we are putting ourselves out there for destruction without the Most High. When we stay with the Most High, we are protected, and therefore we won't diminish ourselves. He says that I might be their Elohim. I am Yahuwah. Now let me pull something up a minute. Give me 1 second, Rebbe. Make sure.
Yeah, let me just talk a little bit about number 6 of Jeremiah 29 and 6. Again, he says, and I stress it for a reason. It says that you may be increased there. What do we find among our people? They are so lightheaded upstairs, right? Spiritually, physically. You got pastors like Warlock, who is supposed to be a pastor, but he's all for the LGBTQ, X, Y, and Z, and also for abortion. Now, how can we be increased? When we look at the paperwork, no matter what we look at, even for your driver's license, there's a thing that talks about a slot that you check off, which you claim ourselves as being what? A minority. And the word minority means that we are small in number.
Few.
How do you look at yourself and call yourself a minority, but then you want to go and push abortion? You want to join up with the rainbow flag group, right?
Rainbow
You want to
Coalition.
join up with all this nonsense. You want to eat foods that's going to cause your nuts to dry up, your womb to fall apart. You're running all over the place. That is anti-life. And the Most High said to make sure it's a commandment for husbands, for fathers, to make sure that you secure families, build families. Make sure that as a father that you get, if you have a son, get a wife. If you have a daughter, make sure she gets the right man in her life. That's our obligation. That's our responsibility, so that you can ensure that the numbers continues to increase. Because that's what he says there, that you may be increased there, where in captivity, and not be diminished. Not be diminished. But what are we doing? Well, I don't think I want to have a child. I think I want to go for a career. Oh, I don't want to. A dude will say, I don't want no babies that tie me up and all kinds of stuff, and he's gone.
Yeah. Ella said to put the eggs on ice. Yes, Mishpachah. We are the minority, not really, but we are to them. And in this world that we are, in the system that we live in, everything is put against us. And the Most High put it that way so we can fully depend on him. I think that's one of the problems that our people have. They don't want to allow the Most High to work. They want to be the ones driving the car. When somebody's in the passenger seat and they're pushing the brakes and the gas, they tell you go left, go right, do this, do that, and you're like,
Their
who's
foot
driving?
is like in the middle between the pedal and the brake.
Like, who's driving? So let's look and compare both parties' planned agenda and see if there's anything different. And how does this affect you as an Israelite? Read that quote from Karl Marx.
Karl Marx, the communist. Political power, properly so-called, is merely the organized power of one class for oppressing another.
And that's what they put out there in the plain view of people. But behind the scenes, these people are best friends. They sit down, they go on vacations. Just like that
Wrestling.
movie, Trading Places.
Like wrestling.
Oh, like wrestling, yeah.
Yeah.
But you remember Trading Places with the two billionaires, and they're making little bets on wages between each other. That's what these people do to the lower people. Yes, Elder.
This wrestling match we have right in front of us there. They already, whoever is controlling that already have one of them put aside for the president. We have to be, you don't believe me? One of them is already selected, but they're still going to the match to see who is more powerful in speech and everything else. Watch and see.
As you say that day, that is something came to my mind. It's like, and you hit it right on the head. They already know who won, but they have to play the game. They have to, continue the acting out. So this is all like a live movie. When you put on Facebook Live or when you go whatever live, this is live. This is how to do it out here. So they already done chose the person to represent, to carry the torch to the next level. Or basically, I would say this person that's coming is going to be the one to turn the switch on. Remember I talked about to put the switch on for the mark of the beast? Bloop. That switch is coming on. So they have everything in place already. What makes America great? Let's look at this picture a minute before we read. You see how they try to include everybody there? Look at the people. How many people you see there? Okay? There's 6 people there. There's a reason why they have the 6 people there.
Number of a man, huh? The number of a man.
Mm-hmm. From the bustling streets of New York City to the scenery landscapes of the Grand Canyon. Huh?
Serene.
Read again. From the bustling streets of New York City to the serene landscapes of the Grand Canyon, the United States is known for its diversity, innovation, and cultural influence. So keep that in the back of your mind. Heavily on cultural influence. From Hollywood's silver screen to Silicon Valley's technological marvels, America has consistently shaped global culture and progress. So when you type in what makes America great, this is what pops up. So they're telling you that America has consistently shaped global culture and progress. This is why we see the Middle East was such a big target, because they had to go over there first to establish, to get the power over the oil, the poppy seeds, and a whole bunch of other little things that they had in between that. But the most important thing now is to change the culture, because that's the Eastern culture where Ishmael has sort of a practice like how
traditions
Jacob have because of Abraham. So they have to change all of that. And this is why you see a lot of the war is focused there. And now you see other wars transition in other places. And it's just coming together. They're all coming together. America has been the one shaping the entire globe in everything. Hollywood is doing a perfect job. Because you'll be surprised, Mr. Sprickow, you go out to, like say, in the Congo somewhere, or down in the Amazon, or in the mountains of Alaska, or in one of the islands far somewhere. And you'll say, how these people imitating the things that they see on TV? Like, the young men try to imitate what they see on the music videos, and the women try to dress like what they see on the music videos and in the movies. And you're like, you're not from that place. Why are you trying to imitate what they're doing? Not realizing that that's shaping the culture, because the children that comes after them is what's going to take place. And that's all that we're doing, was setting the stage, preparing the next generation and the next generation. And before you know it, everyone is now on the same page.
I want to make a quick comment. If you can go back to that slide. Look at the picture carefully. The first person that you see there is a so-called Native American Indian, right? Mm-hmm. Or First Nation people. The second one after that is a slave, right? What they call black people, right?
Yep.
Then let's skip over the Muslim for a second. I'll come back to that. Then you have the what you call the white male, who is really in control of everything. Notice that the Native American and the black person, basically the Hebrews are the one pulling the rope to get that thing up. Without that work, to pull that work, because putting the pole into the hole, that's not a whole lot of work. But you got to keep the pressure. You got to keep the pull on this thing, right, to keep this thing together. Then after that, you have the woman's rights. So you got the white males who rule. Then the females come after that to rule. And guess who's next in line to take over? Mm-hmm. The fruitcakes.
The icing on the top.
Yeah. You see, the fruitcake, whatever that is. That's the last one. But let's get back to the Muslim. Notice that she's the one who's closer to the ground, right? In the sense of putting that thing in the ground. That's the oil. That's the oil industry. Mm-hmm. Hit it right on their head. Mm-hmm. That's the oil industry right there. Okay? But you can see the oil is part of getting things going. the white male who's really the one in charge. Then you got the females right there.
But hold on a minute. I don't think that's a white male. I think that's a Hispanic that we're working hard.
Okay, well, they're not doing a very good job on that. But nevertheless, you got a male here, right? Then you got the female power. Then you have the fruitcake over on the other side. But you can see who's the one actually, because just think about how much work has to go in to get that thing up. The two on the other side is doing all the work to get this thing up. The sweat, okay? And this is how things are. But this is a very interesting piece of painting or whatever that is.
Oh yeah. Yes, Elder.
How you call this is reality. This is what's going to come to pass right there. So
Well, that's what's happening. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Goth America, or Gotham City. America has consistently shaped global culture and progress, as we just read, right? Now, the word goth means what? Rude or uncivilized person, savage despoiler. But it originated from the Germanic people. But when you dig down into it, this is what pops up here. And what I'm going to do is pull up the sources, because I said I'm going to always show the sources. I don't want nobody say, Brother O'Shea said this. This is not my words. I'm just sourcing what I see. But before I do that, let me continue. Gotham, the word Gotham, it highlights New York City, because that is what they consider New York City to be. It's called Gotham, where goats are kept. That was very interesting when I saw that. And it's known as the capital of America, and where the money flows through. I mentioned that before. And well known for its foolish inhabitants. So when you look up the word Gotham, this is what they say. It's known for foolish things to go on in its vicinity or its place. And this is where all the money runs through. Read that for me first before I pull up the slides. Media.
It says media and popular culture. Hollywood, the American film and television industry, has since the 1910s dominated most of the world's media markets. It is the chief medium by which people across the globe see American fashions, customs, scenery, and way of life.
But everybody want to be inclusive in this nightmare that they call a dream. They cross the borders, they stow away on planes and boats, and they come over here just to find out that it's no different where they come from. Now, of course, you get the feeling of some sort of freedom, because the way I look at it is, you come from a place where you are in a room, right, or in a little cage. Just say a little cage. But when you come to America, it's like they make the cage bigger, so you feel you have more room to run around and flap your wings. You have chickens and you put them from a little pen into something bigger. Now they feel like they are free range instead of kept up. But it's the same thing, Mishpachah. So America uses the media. That's what we see. Social media has been the driving force in the last, I would say, 20 years to bring the country and the world where it is today. It says it is the chief medium, because that's by way which people get on social media, and you can find all the latest gossips. I mean, you put your phone down, you pick it up, it's something totally new. It's like seconds go by, you miss a whole thing. You have to stay glued to this thing. Now let's look at some of these sources here. So we'll pull up the first one here. And this is the word Gotham. So it says New York City, first used by Washington Irving in Salmagundi. Gundi.
Yeah.
So I didn't call it New York City. That's what it is. And you see right, it says here, enclosure,
It says Old English, huh?
where goats are kept. So you're in a big playpen, running around thinking that you're free. And that's what we have. The illusion of freedom. And it's really a nightmare. And they call them Gothamites. Gothamites. All right, let's look at the other one. Let me put this here. See. Dictionary.com. See right here? An English village, proverbial for the foolishness of its what? Inhabitants. So it's known for a place where foolishness occurs. And again, it says a journalistic nickname for New York City. So it's not my words. I'm just telling you what they call it. Let's look at the other one. How it says right here, let me make it bigger so everyone can see. I'll close that out. Come on, close. Okay. All right, what does that say, Rebbe?
New York City is not only the financial capital of America, but also of the world.
See? Also of the world. Continue.
And that's why it's important, brethren. And a lot of y'all live in other countries and you think, hey, you're far away from American reach. You're not in the Gotham, right? But but again, it says, but also the world. While the city's financial dealings grew out of Wall Street at the southern tip of Manhattan, large financial institutions and companies are now spread out throughout the city. Though New York's power in American finance is undisputed, it was not always this way.
So they put it this way. So a lot of these companies fly out and come here and they make the headquarters started in New York. And then they move the headquarters now to various states, but the financial part of it still runs through that location. So we see there that America or Gotham, this is where the character of Batman and his adversary, the Joker, runs rampant.
And Batman is a billionaire too.
A billionaire, yes. Continuing, look at the play on words here. You see that sign right there? What does that word say? Pride Month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what does the word in the middle say?
Demon.
So they're telling you, Mishpachah, that they're worshiping a demon figure. That's what it is. So what they are pushing, Mishpachah, is abortion. And what does abortion do? Kill off your seed and take away parental rights. That's what they have been pushing for the past 20 years. Put a 1 in the chat if I am right. Put a 2 in the chat if I'm wrong. Are they killing off the seed and taking away parental rights? A 1 for yes, a 2 for no. Okay. How about gender equality? Isn't that the takeover of feminism? Put a 1 for yes, a 2 for no. LGBTQ rights. And I think they have changed it again to something else. I don't know. They added another alphabet to it. But this is the Sodom and Gomorrah agenda and the rise of the transformers. Put a 1 if that's true, or put a 2 if that's false. What do you think, Rebbe?
I think it's a 1 for sure. I mean, just look at what's happening. The world is moving in a very, very, very dangerous place, and our sovereign king is not going to tolerate this thing for too long.
Yep.
And I think the most important thing is, at the end of the day, we are not caught up in Sodom and Gomorrah. You know,
Right.
he told us. He even told Judah, the remnant who was in Jerusalem, says, if you're in the on the top, don't come down.
Come down. Stay up there.
Go in the mountains. You know, he said all these different things, and yet Israelites still want to come back into the city.
They want to be Lot's wife.
Yeah.
Instead of being Yeshua's wife, Israel, they want to be Lot's wife. Big Pharma. Keep you sedated and sick. Because that's what they're doing. I have some videos to play about this, but not tonight. We're going to do this one. I'm going to do another one specifically on this section later, because there's a lot of information. Mishpachah, the proof is there. These people will tell you exactly what they're doing, but our people, for some reason, it's like they're telling you, hey, we're poisoning you, but keep drinking the milk. And you're just sitting there looking, smiling, sucking away, and before you know it, you're gone. Planned Parenthood to spend $40 million ahead of November on Democratic supporting abortion rights. That's a lot of money. What do y'all see? $40 million. Is that a lot of money? You know, to them, that's chump change.
That money is the price of every living being that was assassinated.
Yes. We call it
Innocent.
legal homicide. Legal homicide.
Blood money.
And I'm going to show that. Let me pull this up here. So this is, again, I'm going to show you the source. So you're not seeing that I am making stuff up.
Blood money.
This is PBS News, and it's telling you that Planned Parenthood is going to spend $40 million for this upcoming election.
Let me say something real quick, Brother Shay. Can you imagine that somebody, if somebody opened up a business to kill puppies, how long do you think that business is going to last for? We're going to kill puppies. We're gonna just kill a bunch of puppies and chop them up and so forth. Let me tell you, anyone who tries to set up a business to murder or do something like that, they're gonna be blasted, right? They're gonna be blasted. They probably won't even make it by the week's end at all. But imagine that you have a business backed by the government who is set up in mainly our communities for the sole purpose of keeping us as minorities, by removing life from the bowels of our people. That's wicked.
Let me ask the Mishpachah to look online, Mishpachah, and find out what percentage of our people are aborted every year. I know the number is high. I was going to put it in here, but I want you guys to look that number up. Google the number of our people that get aborted every year, and let's see that number. But you see here, Planned Parenthood, they are preparing to spend this amount of money to push their agenda. So, like I showed you in the slide before, let me go back to the slide here. Put this to the side. Let me go back here a minute. Abortion is number one on the list. They're spending a lot of money on that. And there's a reason why to that. Okay. But when you guys look for the source now, when you guys look for the number, don't look for one place. You got to look at least 3 places and compare it, because that's what they do. They like to hide the numbers and give you something over here and something different. And you got to be wise with when you're looking for information. Let's look at another one. It says Democrats plan to keep abortion rights front and center in the battleground states. Now they call it battleground states. I told you this is a war. It's a political war. And you see the pin right here on this. I don't know if this is a woman or a man because we can't tell. It says reproductive freedom for all. But the question is, aren't you already have the freedom to reproduce? As a woman, because I am not a woman, I'm a man. I give seed. But as a woman that is taking the seed, don't you have that freedom already to bring forth life? See, what they're asking for is to take life. That's what they're pushing for.
But the thing is that in schools, they already have condoms and all kinds of different things made readily available. You can even get it for free. Go to the clinic and you get all types of birth controls and stuff like that. Yeah. But yet, because remember, they were trying the very best from the 70s onward, fighting very, very hard to have access to all of these different devices to prevent pregnancy, right? Mm-hmm. They've been fighting. So now that you have it, you're not satisfied with those things. I mean, you have about 100 different products that you can, or types of products that you can use to stop you from being pregnant, right? Mm-hmm. But for some reason, you're not satisfied with that. You have to take the next step, which is basically kill. It don't make any sense.
And like we had the last class about the vaccines, right? And I don't know if anyone remember what was said about, or let me see in the chat. Who remembers the link between abortion and vaccines? Let's see who's thinking. Who remembers that? Anyone find the numbers yet? 60%? Over 60%. Okay. Say it again. So Israelites are 5 times more. Go ahead, say what you say.
Yeah.
Shalom.
Shalom, brethren. The rate for abortions among the
Put
black
the mic a little closer.
is 5 times more than the white women, and Hispanics are second in line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what they're saying. They're using fetal cells for vaccines. That's correct. So the abortions, if you decrease the abortions, then you decrease the means of their science experiments that they perform to create these vaccines. So everything is linked together. It's just like what you call those pools where you put money in. You have like 5 people. And this month we're going to use it for the medical, and next month you use it for something else. So these people put the monies together, and they all support in one big circle, working towards one goal. All right. Feminist movement. Let's read this over here. Republicans served.
Okay, you got to make it a little bit bigger. Republicans served as the catalyst for the 19th Amendment. You want to read this thing right here?
I'll read it since it's too small to see. It says, I hear repeatedly from my constituents that students are not learning the history of our country, and it is truly unfortunate. Where we are as a country today is a direct result of our past. And basically, when you read down, and I'll open the link in a minute. Matter of fact, let me open the link so you can see.
Yeah, you can't make it any bigger?
Well, the link is here, so when I open it, I can make it bigger.
All right, yeah, just make that.
You can see who's pushing it.
Okay, yeah, just make it a little bit bigger. All right.
All right, so we're gonna let's read this part right here.
All right. A century ago, a monumental shift occurred.
Is that big enough?
That's decent. Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
A century ago, a monumental shift occurred within the Constitution that undeniably changed the course of our democracy. The passage of the 19th Amendment. Today, students across the United States flip through the pages of textbooks and read about how this change came to fruition. However, when it comes to learning about the pivotal role that Republican suffrages played, in particular, Republicans within Congress who helped usher in this change. The ink runs dry. While a campaign for a woman's right to vote is commonly referred to as a progressive movement, it is often misconstrued as a movement that was spurred by the platform of today's Democrat Party. The simple truth is that history tells a different story.
So basically what they're saying, Mr. Picard, is that both parties are pushing the same agenda. So back then, it may start with one party. Today, the next one continues it. And we will see that there coming up when I show the videos and stuff. Okay. But again, this right here was the catalyst. So if you look up the 19th Amendment, it's basically what pushed the feminist movement. And what is the feminist movement? Read that for me right there.
The feminist movement, also known as the women's movement, refers to a series of social movements and political campaigns for the radical and liberal reforms on women's issues created by inequality between men and women.
Okay.
You want me to read some more?
No, that's all we need there. So, and then read down here for the feminists in the United States.
Feminism in the United States, Canada, and a number of countries in Western Europe has been divided by scholars into three waves.
So
First, second, and third wave feminism. Recent early 2010s research suggests there may be a fourth wave characterized in part by new media platforms.
And now this is where it's coming together in one umbrella of the fruitful movement as we see it. So like they'll always start off with civil rights like we talk about, and then it moves to something else. All right, so let's look at one of the candidates. We're still trying to decide what nationality she wants to call herself. Let's look at the dictionary, Oxford here, for the definition for the word abortion. Read that for me.
The deliberate termination of a human pregnancy, most often performed during the first 28 weeks of pregnancy.
So the word deliberate, does it also mean intentional, or does it not?
Yep.
Deliberate means intentional, right? All right, so we're gonna look up the definition for that in a minute. But let's see what she is pushing. Oops, this is one of her statements. When you go on to CNN, I'll pull it up here. Let me pull this to the side a minute so you can see. Right over here. This is the tour. So this right here, we're gonna read this in a minute. So I just open it for a minute, but let me come back over here first. Go ahead and read this for me. Let me open it big for you. The statement.
Harris took on the lead role of champion abortion rights for the administration after Roe v. Wade was overturned in June 2022. This past January, she started a reproductive freedoms tour to multiple states, including a stop in Minnesota, thought to be the first by a sitting U.S. president or vice president at an abortion clinic.
That's all we need there.
Okay.
And I'll get the link for you guys in a moment. But she is basically, this is her one of her main agendas right here. And let's open up that reproductive freedom tour. I'll make it bigger so you can see what she's pushing here.
So if they have the right to kill, don't a man have a right to save?
Well, this is straight from the White House. See right here, it says White House, December 19th, 2023. So this is last year. It says Vice President Kamala Harris launches reproductive freedoms tour. So you're going on tour around the country pushing murder. That's basically what's happening here. And we're not going to read into this. I just was showing you what she is pushing. But she calls it fundamental freedoms.
Can you highlight that whole part? No, from right there.
From here?
No. I will continue to fight down to where it says government. Let me read that real quick. The vice president said, I will continue to fight for our fundamental freedoms while bringing together those throughout America who agree that every woman should have the right to make decisions about her own body, not the government. But the question is, isn't she the government?
That contradicts herself.
So she's the government, but she wants to run around and says that women need to have the right to make decisions about their own body, not the government. So the government is pushing propaganda. This is amazing. This don't make any sense.
You can't make this stuff up when you really look at it to see what they are pushing.
That is her decision.
Yep.
Pushing that what everybody.
Now let's look at this here now. Let me pull up this one here now. This is from Cornell Law School, Legal Information Institute. And this is the definition, and make it bigger. Right here. Is that big enough for everyone to see? Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
What does first degree murder say right here? Let's read this first part.
First degree murder is the intentional killing of another person by someone who has acted willfully, deliberately.
But you see the word over it says deliberate termination? Am I making this stuff up, Mishbaka?
Can you highlight the word pregnancy and look it up real quick? Right on the second screen that you have there, where it says human pregnancy. Just highlight that word pregnancy and see if you can pull that up. Let's see how they define the word pregnancy.
It's not letting me pull it up, so let me put it in here. Let's see.
Definition, okay.
Want me to scroll down?
Well, this is one of the first things that pulls up. Pregnancy is the term used to describe the period in which a fetus develops, not a child, a fetus develops inside a person's womb or uterus. A person.
So the question is, does children develop inside the womb? If the answer is yes, then what is a fetus? A child. If a child doesn't develop in the womb, then we shouldn't call what's coming out of the womb children. We should call them just fetus. You know what I'm saying?
Here's my fetus. What's your name? You're going to name all your fetuses. Junior, come here. This is my firstborn fetus. This is my second-born fetus right over here.
It's a play on words. That's basically what it is. And they love to hide behind that stuff because it's what they do on their magic show. So again, abortion is intentional homicide. That is basically what it is. Moloch is the new Planned Parenthood. Leviticus 18 and 21.
And you shall not let any of your seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shall you profane the name of your Elohim. I am Yahuwah.
Because by doing so, you are profaning the name of your Elohim. He's giving you the ability to bring the future, but you decide to destroy the future. What does that tell you? So on the picture over here to the left, you see right here, the lady is offering up a child to Planned Parenthood, because this is planned. And you see the beast. It's the same thing over here on the right. And the ladies are saying, far more humane than those barbarians with their clamps and vacuums. Planned Parenthood right down here, you see? And there's a child arms sticking out this bowl. So they know what they're doing, Mishpachah. This is modern day sacrifice. And we are living in the age where we see a lot of sacrifices going on, and we don't even realize it. Like when you take the Bible and you read it, it's not a fantasy book, because I'm reading it and it's telling me exactly what's happening. I'm like, man, this is word for word. First degree murder is the intentional killing of another person by someone who has acted willfully, deliberately, or with what? Planning. Let me go back to the slide. Let me pull this aside a minute. Let's go back over here to this, because nobody believe me. See, it says right here, planning, with planning. So when you go to Planned Parenthood, you are willfully committing murder. 1, 2, you're sacrificing to these idols, or to this demon, I should say.
Can you
have a Planned Parenthood Global.
Can you pull up the word parenthood definition for that word? I'm sorry to interject, but
No, it's okay.
we got to look at these words, because to me, Planned Parenthood and what they're trying to do is it doesn't make any sense. It's just because parenthood is to have family, right? So I want to see if the definition still holds true. The state of being a parent and the responsibilities involved. The state of being a parent and the responsibilities involved. That's one definition. I don't know if there's anything better than that.
Let's see what this says here. It says same thing. This is Merriam-Webster. Let's look at another one.
I'm sure it has changed a whole lot, because it'll be mostly under male and female. Parenting involves rearing a child. It includes the techniques, methods, and skills you use in raising your child. Parenthood is a state of being a parent. So Planned Parenthood, which is the opposite of that, nobody's planned to raise a child.
Right, nobody's raising a child. I guess they're raising the child to Moloch. I guess
that's what it is.
You could put it that way.
Yeah.
Right here, you see the woman raising the child?
Yeah. Where's the fathers? Where are the fathers? Where are the men? Is that what our sisters want today? Put a 1 in the chat. You want to be out there on your own. You want to take charge. You want to run the belly by yourself. Put a 1 in the chat if that's your intentions. Be bold, be brave. Come on out.
Beyonce says independent.
Yeah, but she's up under her husband, right? Raising children. People are crazy.
The foolery. So let's look at a few of the main things they are both trying to push for. Remember, these two candidates are just faces that represents the agenda of the beast. We the people is a secular term that promotes a world without law rather than a world with law. So when you hear the term we the people, that's a democratic phrase that is used. And I give that example, I think in the last class or the class before, when Aaron was saying, the people made me do it.
That's democracy.
Right. Rather than what the Most High say. So let's look at what the two mascots are saying. So the elephant, he made the elephant noise because it's called a blast when he makes that sound. He says Satan is better than the devil, and the donkey is hee-hawing, and he says the devil is way better. But it's the same thing, Mishpachah. And in between them, freedom from the law.
The word democrat means basically ruled by mob.
Right.
Not law. Republic's supposed to be ruled by law.
It's what the masses say versus what is written. And that is what happened on the mount. When Moses came back down, Joshua thought it was war in the camp, and Moses says, no, these people down there having their waywardness. So truth behind politics. This is it here, Mishpachah. This is it right here. Read that for me, Rebbe.
One side pushes real hard for something that seems right, while the others pushes for something that doesn't. But what they don't tell the people is that are playing good cop, bad cop, that they are playing good cop and bad cop. It's all about contrast and pressure.
So
This
they have to push. They have to push a certain narrative and apply a certain type of pressure. So you'll have one person come in, and they will, yell and scream and say all these things. And the next person come in nice and subtle and give you a cup of coffee, and you're like, oh, I like this person better because they appeal better to me. But continue reading.
This is also known as a psychological seesaw. One party has a harder agenda while the other has a softer, kinder agenda, not realizing that both parties are pushing the same agenda. This is called politics.
And read that George Orwell.
Political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable, and to give an appearance of solidity to pure wind. Solidity to pure wind. So make the wind solid, right? Give substance to something that really don't have much substance.
So they're telling you it's just a facade that they're putting on. Political language is designed to make lies sound truthful. So they'll tell you what you want to hear, but it's just a bunch of hot air that they're telling you, because they already have their stuff planned out. So it's a strategic way, skillful way. And what do we call that in the book of Psalms? Crafty counsel. Let's look at the Trumpster. This is what he is representing. Is there anything different? It says Trump repeatedly celebrated the inclusion of transgender women in his beauty pageant. So let's look at this and see.
Remember, he had Rudy Giuliani when Trump was running for office the first time. Giuliani was in high heels. Remember, we played that, high heels and perfume, and wearing women's clothes. And he came up to Trump like a woman, and Trump was sniffing on him. So Giuliani was dressed in drag.
See, so he's pushing for. So I pull this up so you can see what they're pushing for: transgender rights in the United States. But Mishpachah, when it says United States again, it's talking about making this a global thing to come. This is why you see. Now let's talk about the continent of Africa for a minute. This is why you see when you have certain coups happening. That is currently happening now, or you will see some, one of the parties over there would be in conflict with the people, and then they will have an uprising, and you see all kinds of different things just occurring because they're pushing this agenda. And to some of the countries, they're fighting back and saying, no, we're not going to do this, and then they put tiffs on them. They say, oh, we're not going to allow food to come here, or oil, or whatever it is. And they're like, well, if you want to have this, then you have to accept this. Okay, we're going to accept it. And then it changes. So by any means necessary, they're pushing this agenda right here. This is one. Let's see over here. And this is this one here. It says Trump repeatedly celebrated the inclusion of transgender women in his beauty pageant. Let's play this video to see if it will play.
You can see Satan in those eyes, huh?
The gains are pumping.
Let's mute that for a minute while that comes on. Yeah, you can still see it in his eyes. Wait for these advertisements to happen. They have to make their monies by any means necessary. But when you look at this, while it's coming up now. Okay, let's see.
File unearthing past comments from Donald Trump touting his decision to allow a transgender woman to compete for a spot in his Miss Universe pageant in 2012.
This is a young woman who, according to the laws of Canada and according to the laws of the United States, is allowed to enter the pageant.
Pause it a minute. He said this is a young woman, but this is a man, okay? You see the sickness already?
What I did is I said, we have 58 contestants in Canada. I said, let her run, and maybe she'll win. And if she wins, she'll go to Miss Universe. And I think I made the right decision.
Is that his wife?
I don't know.
11 years later, Trump has done a 180, making the repealing of transgender rights a central part of his 2024 campaign speech.
No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender. We will defeat the cult of gender ideology to reassert that God created two genders.
Now, notice what he's saying here, but I'll show you in another video later. That is another story or another song he's singing. So you have to understand that David it's like they're going down a windy road. And they'll tell you on one side, yeah, this is what we're going to do. And then they go to the next side of the road. No, we're not going to do that. Yeah, we're going to do it. No, we're not going to do it. And based upon which side you're on is the message that you get.
Male and female. And here's another beauty. I will keep men out of women's sports.
Out front now, Andrew Kaczynski, senior editor of CNN's K-File. So, Andrew, you heard him there. Keep men out of women's sports, he says, but not apparently out of women's pageants back in 2012, a decision that he seemed to tout pretty proudly back then.
That's all we need. So I just wanted to show you that. Go back over here.
I remember that he used to donate money to both sides of the political parties. If you go back in some of the archives, you'll see he gave money to
Yeah, this has become a huge
different parties and stuff.
Right. Let me close all this out. All right, I'm going to play the video now. Now, Mishpaka, I was saying earlier that I had this video put together and I couldn't save it. So I'm going to play it from this format. So just bear with me. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to watch this video. We're going to pause. We're going to talk about it and see what's going on out there. So we're going to start from here. Again, fair use, fair use.
And we will make America great again.
And when I finish up with this whole video online, so if I can get it, it's going to be. Let me pause it real quick. So this one is just a small version, but the one I'm going to put out is going to have so much because it was so much information that it froze the computer. I was saying earlier when I started.
No, wait. What happened was Satan knew what you were doing.
I mean, I collected information from all sources. I'm like, man, these people say this. Man,
they put a tracker on you. They knew what you were trying to do. When they saw that the puzzle was coming together to fit into the pieces, it says, let's pull it right now. People gonna.
I went to bed at 4 last night or this morning, and then I got up and I got up. I slept in a little late. I says, okay, let me get up and I'm gonna just hit save now, put everything together, and it just won't take it. So it's playing from from this source. So let's watch and see.
The evil
He's a foot
Barack
soldier.
Obama.
Barack Obama is a foot soldier. Soros.
Oh yeah, for the
He's a
globalists.
globalist
Yeah.
elite.
Oh, absolutely.
Globalist
Barack Obama was a plant.
Yes. He was.
And now they want to put Michelle.
Barack Obama was a plant. He did nothing for the black community.
I'm gonna pause a minute. I want y'all to do some homework when you get a chance, because I'm putting it together also on my end what all the presidents did to bring to the table as far as the agendas. And we understand that Obama brought in what? The marriage of same-sex marriage. And the next person was who? Trump. And what did he do? Anybody know what he did? Okay, I'm gonna have you do it for your homework. Okay, let's just continue.
Nobody even knows who he is.
Did he ever come back to Chicago with as much crime to talk to young black men? He doesn't give a damn.
He doesn't.
Barack Obama is a curse on this nation. So is Joe Biden.
Personally, for me, faith, it's all about hope and purpose and strength. And for me, my religion is just an enormous sense of solace. I go to Mass and I say the Rosary. I find it to be incredibly comforting. And Kierkegaard said, faith sees best in the dark.
But for me as a Christian,
We provided the money for his Marxist socialist programs, pushing abortion in Africa and other things. He didn't.
See, pushing the abortion in Africa, like I just mentioned. And we over here in America, what does it have to do with another country? Because they're bringing the world together. Resources. Africa has all the resources the world needs. So it's like they plug their tentacles into or their tubes into Africa and suck the resources to feed the rest of the world, while keeping the Hamite nations down. That's what they do.
He didn't care about us.
No.
He didn't care.
I'm a Christian by choice. The precepts of Jesus Christ spoke to me in terms of the kind of life that I would want to lead. So ever since I started running for office, people started handing me things when I'd speak to a crowd as Lucky Charms or keepsakes or things that meant something to them. And so now I have a habit of, I always carry around, and I have a whole bowl full of them, and I can't.
So you call this charms, Lucky Charms. And what did we say charms was, Mishpachah? Stuff that deals with witchcraft, right? Okay. All right, let's continue.
Can't carry all of them around because then they'd be. But I'll pick out a few things. This is rosary beads that Pope Francis gave me.
Wow.
That obviously means a lot to me because I so admire him. This is a little Buddha that
little idols
that a Buddhist monk gave me.
Wow. In Newcastle County, an historic moment at the Hindu Temple of Delaware in Hockessin. Eyewitnesses was there as a crane moved a statue of the Hindu god Hanuman into place. It is 25 feet tall. It was carved out of a single piece of granite in India. And then
now this is back in 2002. So 2002, they brought this statue to Delaware. And we'll see where the new one is now.
And shipped to Delaware. The estimated weight is 70,000 pounds. Once installed, it will be the largest statue of a Hindu god here in the United States.
And I got, this is Hindu little statuette of the monkey god Hanuman.
So he says he's a Christian, but he has idols in his pocket. Does that make sense, Mishpachah? So when you vote for people thinking that they have your best interest, like the sister said earlier in the chat, what agenda do they have? Whom do they serve? That's what you have to find out.
That a woman gave me.
Well, the Statue of Union in Sugar Land is getting attention from around the world.
This one is
it
in
stands
2024.
90 feet tall. The Statue of Union is now the third tallest statue in the United States, and it depicts.
Look at that. That's like Baphomet.
And Brother Shade, it makes sense with all these things coming into place, because look at, anybody had a chance to see the RNC, the Republican convention, where the prayer was done to some god by a Hindu woman. She came up, and Trump was right there. You had preachers who went up and preached, say a few words, and then she did her thing too. And so that whole thing seems kind of strange. You know what I mean? Very strange.
Kamala background is in Hindu.
That's right. And the vice president, the nominee for Trump, his wife is I believe she's Hindu or she's Indian descent, I would say.
So it's all coming together, okay? But look at this creature.
Yep.
Give it a minute.
Is that a male or female?
That's the question. Is it a male or female? Okay, it's spinning. Give me the spinning wheel now. See right there? See the spinning wheel, Mr. Carr?
I don't see any wheel spinning.
You can't see the wheel spinning?
No.
She's on my screen. Okay.
It's not moving?
Oh, 1 second. Let me escape it and see. Okay, let me pull this back up.
Yeah, so that's definitely America is finished, basically. It has become a melting pot of wickedness, and it's getting worse. And we can see throughout the world that the world, things are getting smaller and smaller. That's why the only place that you can really secure is your heart. Protect your heart, protect your family. And even with trying to protect your family, it's very risky, because if you have your children going out to schools, to government, or whatever, you're gonna have issues there. And if you are married to someone who's not on board with direction and following the Torah, you're gonna have issues there too, because children can see where the cracks are, and they navigate between the cracks. So if mama's not right, the children will lean towards us. If daddy's not right, you have problems. So we gotta. That's why the Bible says in Jeremiah, you have to choose. You have to raise families up in these places. There are certain things that we got to do. You got it?
Yep.
And its goal is to radiate benevolence, strength, and hope to all. Guests can view the statue every day from 7:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. till 8:30 p.m.
I carry these around all the time.
But for me as a Christian,
and I'm not that superstitious, so
he's not that superstitious, but he's superstitious.
Necessarily, I have to have them on me at all times.
I was in church when I learned that I was a Democrat. I learned it from the pulpit.
Kamala Harris says she's a Christian.
To really be true to the teachings of Christ, one must think of our faith as a verb.
So it says,
Jesus is telling us then about, yes, we must love thy neighbor, but let's define and be clear about who is our neighbor.
I don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth.
Whatever she says with her mouth, her actions betray that.
I don't think that she practices. I just think if she is a Christian, it's a name only for votes.
She's pro-abortion.
And so when we think about justice, let's also remember all the prophets spoke about justice. They spoke about it, Proverbs 30.
Pause. See, look at that. Look at that Hebrew female in the back, lost. Like most of them look lost. Look at the children, the young people. They look lost.
Mm-hmm. Why they always trying to use our scrolls, Mishpachah? That's a tactic of their father, devil. The same thing he did in the garden. You shall not surely. Let's continue.
31:9. Also remember all the prophets spoke about justice. They spoke about it, Proverbs 31:9. Speak up for the poor and the helpless and see that they get justice.
So is the killing of innocent babies pleading for their needs? When the child doesn't have a voice, the mother's supposed to be the voice for the child, right? But I guess their needs, they ain't got no needs. So how is that even some sort of justice?
And when Congress passes a law to restore reproductive freedoms, as President of the United States, I will sign it into law.
This is a Democrat platform, okay? This is what the Democrat Party represents. I've never in my life seen so many people willing to vote for their own destruction, their own genocide, and the sexuality and abortion of their own children.
They're all long, long overdue.
One of them protects people seeking or providing abortions.
We are witnessing a full-on attack against hard-fought, hard-won freedoms and rights.
Look at the beta male behind her shaking his head. He's like, yes, I agree.
Take reproductive freedom. Well, Tim and I have a message for Trump and others who want to turn back the clock on our fundamental freedoms. We're not going back.
Why are we being liberated by the thought of abortion? We mad at white people for killing us, but we the first in line to go kill a black life that we created. Like, this is never going to end because we don't value the lives that we create. So if I'm the mother and you're the father and we created the life and we don't see value in the life and we'll go dump the baby, abort the baby at an abortion mill, why should anybody else value life if we don't value it?
That's the question.
The Democratic Party, they promote black women. Particularly if she's a lesbian. Yes. They promote black women who are not even qualified. We have seen with the diversity, equity, and inclusion.
I'm going to pause it here real quick. Now, a lot of the people will say the right things, but they're not applying the right things. And when I say apply the right things, if we, Deuteronomy 28 from verses 1 to verse 14, tells you exactly what you got to do. But because we don't want to do it, we are verses 15 to verse 60, 8? Down to 68. And all we're going to do is say the right things, but there will be no action because the action part of it is the keeping of the law. That's the action part. That's what we're not doing that's going to make the changes.
Which is really racism, which is really saying, well, black people just, darn it, they're not smart enough, so we have to give them handouts.
It's kind of like drugs and guns, huh? They go hand in hand. Can't really have one without the other, right? So if we aren't being promiscuous, if we aren't being irresponsible, if we aren't out here making babies that we don't want, then the abortion industry goes out of business. You know, isn't that amazing in this day and age where everyone is screaming about equality, that the mother, when she doesn't want the baby, she can go abort the baby, terminate the pregnancy, and get a pat on the back. But if the man doesn't want the baby, he's labeled a deadbeat and called all type of names, but they always scream about equality.
Like the founders of Black Lives Matter, they don't give a damn about black people. They have spent one dime to help build a black business. But these lesbians, they bought homes in predominantly white neighborhoods. See, they say they hate capitalism, but they love to use us and live off of capitalism while they spout an anti-God, anti-America rhetoric.
So right. I just think
She's pro all the transgender stuff.
You know, we have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke.
Isn't that from 300? The dude from 300?
That looks like the dude from
300.
Sparkly.
Xerxes from 300.
Yeah.
Isn't that him?
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
But I like the way. Hold on a second. I like the way the sister was talking. The mama right there was talking You know, she's hitting everything on the head, you know, as far as making the connections. But so few of our people have eyes to really see. I don't know how open her eyes really are, maybe what she's allowed to say or not say, but it's good to see this. It's very refreshing to know that there's still some sense of sanity left in this world.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of sanity left in the world. We don't see it because again, the blackouts, social media, how they put up the facade of this is not what we want, and people think, okay, well, I guess I can't speak. But there are people who try to speak out. We just don't hear about it.
She's a disaster. She's the worst in the history of the border. What do you think of Harris?
I think she's crazy.
We know that this year's pride is caught between the
Look at the little black boy that was there.
push and pull of progress. Outside the gates of this house are those who want to drag our country backwards.
So outside the gates are us, is what she's saying. People who stand up for righteousness, that don't want this type of behavior, that try to drag them back into.
How come El Papa don't send some serious priests to go pull Biden's paperwork on his membership, his Catholic membership? Well, because El Papa and all of those guys are into the same death style too. Most of those priests are sodomites and those nuns and things of that nature. So no matter where you run, let me tell you, Mishpachah, we read the scripture earlier. The conclusion of the whole matter is to keep the commandments of the Most High, serve Him. That's it. All this other stuff, you can run to the Catholic Church, Democrat, Republican, you can run to Africa, you can run to India, Europe, you can run anywhere, and you're going to find the same madness.
Same old thing. Because the world is a devil's playground.
And last December, we felt such pride here in the South Lawn when I signed the historic Respect for Marriage Act.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members and members of the public. Please join me. God, we thank you for all your many blessings.
Now this lady, see how she looks right here? She has hair on her head, right? You'll see her up to date now in a minute. You'll see her. But she's praying to the God of this world.
We thank you for all the ways you show yourself strong in our
Wilson.
lives and the lives of the people we serve. We know that only you are the keeper of this great state. You are the shade at our right hand. You preserve us from evil, even to our very soul. We ask for your grace over our session today. Let your peace abide in our hearts and in all our comings and goings. Let our decisions be filled with your wisdom. Apply to us liberally your grace and mercy. May prosperity be forever in our future from this time forth to eternity. Let us continue to find favor in your sight and remain a beacon not only for this nation, but for the world. In your strength, amen.
Now I pause it there. I wanted to play the whole thing so you can hear the words she's saying, right? If she's praying to the Most High, how are you going to ask the Most High permission to break his law and say, let me do what you tell me don't do and be okay with it? Does that make any sense?
It doesn't. If you look at her prayer, so-called prayer, there are 4 things that came up: favor, grace, prosperity, and there was one other thing too, mercy, I think it is. It's like the Most High is supposed to be this type of genie that you rub the lamp. There's no responsibility or accountability, I would say. It's just gimme, ask. But these people want to have favor. And believe me, the language that she's using here sounds just like what most Christian pastors use.
Yeah.
Grace and favor and all these different things.
Yep, let's continue.
Good afternoon, Senators. I am here to present.
This is her today now. Pause it. Just look at her today.
Maybe she had alopecia or something. She lost her hair because her hair was kind of short in the other previously.
I don't know. Somebody can Google it. She has cancer, alopecia. I don't know. I call it rebellion. That's what I call it.
AB 957, a bill that would clarify that when it comes to Family Code Section 3011, specifically when it comes to disputes over custody, that the definition of the health, safety, and welfare of the child include a parent's affirmation of the child's gender identity. When it comes to
So I'm gonna pause here, Mr. Picard. This is a bill all these bills they're pushing in California first for a reason. California is a test state, if you didn't know. And they push these bills there first. This is called Bill AB 957. This allows parents who supports trans movement to have sole custody of that child during a divorce. So if you have a spouse and you're in the middle of a divorce, and one spouse says, I don't want my child to take any hormone blockers or become a boy or girl, whichever gender they are, the opposite to it, and so forth, so forth. The parent who is in favor of it will win the child. This is what they're pushing now. This bill, I think, came out, I want to say a few months back. You can look it up and see. But this is another secret way of taking control from you, okay? And she's the one who came up with this bill.
Disputes over custody, that the definition of the health, safety, and welfare of the child include a parent's affirmation of the child's gender identity.
They use words like affirmation, soft words to say who supports the child because if the child say, well, I don't feel like being a boy today, I want to be a girl. Okay, you can be what you want. Is that parenting? No, that's not parenting. But we all understand that. This is an agenda that they're pushing.
Identity.
Protects the marriage of same-sex and interracial couples. But for all the progress we made, we know real change and real challenges still remain. When a person can be married in the morning and thrown out of a restaurant for being gay in the afternoon, something is still very wrong in America.
No, that's called the judgment of the Most High.
That's why the Congress must pass and send me the Equality Act to codify protections for the LGBT community.
I mean, are we giving ourselves over to destruction? Even, one of the things that hurt me on my heart, I got a call, about another young black male that I know and love very dearly that's dealing with AIDS and HIV right now. And for the life of me, I cannot understand. We know for...
That's right, Brother Pincus. We have to put up all these guardrails. But that's not only in America. The bad news is, or I should say is the check for reality is it's all over the world.
For a fact that AIDS, HIV is the #1 killer of black men. We know that AIDS and HIV is associated with the highly homosexual, lifestyle, because back then they used to call it a gay man's
Death
disease.
style.
And with us knowing that, why are we supporting an agenda that we know leads to that, right? Why are we supporting things that are telling our sons and our daughters to give themselves over to a lifestyle with such a high rate of death for black Americans?
I got
and
you.
I'm an independent now. I can't stand the Democratic Party.
Really? What happened? What caused you to change?
They decided to be anti-family and anti-man, and I don't buy into that.
I mean, children are not being protected. Like, we're not paying attention to what's going on in our schools. You can go to Google right now and see that Joe Biden and his administration were going to deny funding to public schools that refuse to teach LGBTQ gender ideology to elementary grade students. Like, in California, Gavin Newsom just passed a law
California
that
again.
if you send Johnny 5 years old to school and he tell the teacher he want to be Jill, okay, then the teacher has that right to put him in a dress and call him Jill all day long while you at work.
Newsom has signed a bill that would ban school districts from notifying parents about a student's gender identity. That means school districts will have to remove policies that require parents to be informed if their child identifies as transgender.
So this is already passed, Mishpachah. And some other states are taking it up. Again, they have test states. California is a test state. So any Mishpachah that have their children in California now that's in school, if the teacher wants to put a dress on your son or put some pants on your daughter, they can do that and you can't do anything about it. This is the law of the land.
The passage of the bill comes after several districts across the state put similar notification policies in place without the student's consent. Staff can no longer be forced to disclose a student's sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression.
And then when he come back home, he back to acting like John again. Like children are being used to push a sexual agenda. Anytime you see an administration talking about they're fighting for LGBTQ plus children, okay, what is that? Because when I think about those letters and I think about what they stand for, let's just start with the L, okay? A L, that's a lesbian, that's a woman that is sexually attracted to and likes to have sex with women, okay? B, that's bisexual, that is a person who is sexually attracted to and likes to have sex with both sexes. So when you say LGBTQ children, am I supposed to look at a 5-year-old child and say, oh, that child is bisexual? They like to have sex with male. They are using children as walking advertisements to push a sexual agenda. Anytime you see children at a pride parade with pride clothes on, that say LGBTQ. Anytime you see the director of Joe Biden's health department, Rachel, what's his name? Dr. Rachel.
So he used to be called Richard. Now it's Rachel.
Isn't that Ashkenaz?
Yes. Look at that ugly looking monster.
Ashkenazim, huh? They're the ones who's been pushing a lot of this deaf style throughout the world, and there's a lot of information about that, and they have actually used the internet to censor a whole lot of stuff.
You must say he's a handsome fellow.
Rachel, I can't remember the last name, but before it was Richard Levine, okay? Rachel Levine, this is the director of Joe Biden's administration when it comes to health. Formerly Richard Levine, has made it completely legal for children to be able to sexually transition without the permission of their parents. And if you buck and say, no, son, I said your name is John, then you can be deemed unfit and have your parental rights terminated.
A bill that would clarify that when it comes to Family Code Section 3011, specific.
Anybody find out what happened to her in the chat? Look and see why she's bald. Sister Joyce Lynn says breast cancer. Okay, see? All right, well, she's cursed.
Specifically, when it comes to disputes over custody, that the definition of the health, safety, and welfare of the child include a parent's affirmation of the child's gender identity.
Somewhere in the last 55 years, what's happened is the country has switched over into glorifying what I call dysfunction. And at some point, it's just enough is enough. You've got a thing right now where they're trying to groom children in school. They're trying to install a secular religion as the official religion of the country. People don't have any cause, any purpose anymore. So they want to give them one. But in this one, it says you have no duty, honor, obligation, responsibility, accountability.
That's why in the early slides, I show what our duty is. Jeremiah, what? 29:5. Okay, no, not that part, Elder. I'm talking about what our duty is. to do what? So these people don't have purpose. We have a purpose. We have to serve the Most High, keep all His commandments.
Ability to be what the hell you want to be. Just get your freak on and there you go. But that's not sufficient to keep people working.
The law you spoke about previously, is that nationwide? Is that specific?
It's just in California, but you know, once they pass it there, it's going to begin to spread. And it's in many other places as well that they're not necessarily talking about it. And it's a Democrat agenda.
Senators, currently, when parents do not agree on affirming a TGI, which I'll use that acronym regularly, means transgender, gender diverse, and intersex. When a parent do not agree on affirming a TGI child's gender identity, the family code fails to provide guidance on how judges should consider the best interests of a TGI child. AB 957 was originally introduced to amend both Family Code 3011 and the Code of Civil Procedure.
Like if you go back and even you look at the Olympics that we just witnessed, the Olympics that just took place in Paris.
Anybody have any little eyes that there's a picture coming on. So if anyone have any little short legs with eyes, you can cover their eyes up. So
you got a child that they're saying is a drag queen on the show. You can look and zoom into the picture. The man got his whole nuts and testicles out. They got this little boy dressed up as a woman. I'm a grown woman. If I put on some red lipsticks and some high heels and go see my man, baby, I'm looking for that action. I want him to see me. Why are we dressing little boys up in high heels and dresses and putting them on a stage and having them perform in sexually explicit manners and calling it gender inclusion and diversity? Kamala Harris is more of a progressive than Joe Biden. I think we're in trouble. I think
somebody in the chat says that's why Joe Biden dropped out, because he didn't want to deal with this stuff. And that's true.
That if she's elected, not only are we getting ready to abort an entire generation, but we're getting ready to lose an entire generation to men that no longer feel the need to be men, but want to be women and don't have a desire to be with women.
And when Congress passes a law to restore reproductive freedoms as President of the United States, I will sign it into law.
I don't know, man. We have a real men's crisis because not only the men who don't want to be women, but you have men that seem to just give up, fire. They just gave up on life. They just there. There's a large portion of men that just.
I mean, look at what's happening. I mean, these days, like, it seems like the only way you could get up, put on, or get any type of attention.
It's LeBron James now. Shame.
As if you a man that's taking it up the butt, or you putting a wig on. Like, I mean,
all our men in Hollywood put on dresses.
Let's look at what they're uplifting and they're idolizing. You know, Billy Porter over the DNC and wearing a dress on Sesame Street, teaching children about sexual identities at the White House. You got Billy Porter on the front aisle.
See? Yep, that's the guy that, and this was this year at Juneteenth. I played a video last time when it was playing some gospel song. Kirk Franklin was singing in the background, and they're all dancing and singing. And this is a sodomite. And this is what we are voting for, Mishpachah. Well, not me, but this is what the world is voting for, Mishpachah. This is what they're pushing.
In a dress, bending over, kissing Joe Biden's hands. Like, we're not uplifting masculine, heterosexual black men. This whole agenda right now is about feminizing the black man. If a man is effeminate, he gets more respect, more power, more leverage than a man that's straight this day in America.
And I know we are committed and we understand the importance of this movement and our roles of leadership in this ongoing movement. So happy Pride, everybody.
And that's sad. But when you don't have the black man, you don't have black life. So all of these women and all of these black men that's going along with this agenda that doesn't uplift, that doesn't support, that doesn't inspire the black man, right? You're all contributing to your own genocide. Because me as a woman, right?
When she talks about black men, she's talking about the Israelite, man, okay? So.
Right, I have a womb. I can go sleep with 5 men, an Asian, a Mexican, a white man, an Italian, a black man. The only way I'm gonna give birth to black life is if I'm with that black man. Black life lies in the scrotum of black men. So if you are supporting an agenda that turns a black man into a woman, or if you are supporting an agenda that kills black life before his feet even touch the ground, you're against your own people.
Family courts and judges are looking at the whole picture. If both parents are accepting of their child's gender identity, this issue will not be the thing that tips scale towards any parent. The intent behind our amendment is specifically to allow nuance for the judge to account for similar situations, and the larger issue surrounds parents who are antagonistic to their child's gender identity. Being antagonistic to a child's gender identity dramatically affects a child's mental well-being. AB 957 would center the health and welfare of TGI youth by acknowledging.
So this bill will make the child feel better because the child has gotten his or her way to become whatever they want to become. But you as a parent can't do anything but allow it. So now the child feels better. The child wouldn't kill it his or herself and blah, 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 blah. But what's missing is a rod of iron. That's what's missing. Correction. The rod of correction.
That affirmation of their gender identity is in their best interest.
I've been following a lot of the comments.
This guy is, so she wrote a book or whatever it is, and the lady just finished talking, and he's a Republican senator. And he's pushing this stuff, okay?
Commentary online and in the media about this bill.
Oh, sorry, a Democrat senator.
And unfortunately, there's been a pretty massive misinformation campaign about this bill by the right-wing media and right-wing social media influencers.
You sound scared.
It is tragically a massive and well-orchestrated campaign to erase trans children, to pretend they don't exist, to suppress them, which honestly is no different than the suppression that we have seen for centuries, the suppression of gay and lesbian kids.
He actually invited Sister Roma. So Sister Roma is one of the members of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. He invited her to the Capitol building to be.
This is Sister Roma. And this is him over here.
Hey, Brother Shay.
Yes.
I sent you two links, right? And I'm not trying to stop your flow, but this is very important. Where
okay, you want
that
to pull
guy
it up?
that you just played, Scott Wiener, because notice there is a trend, right? And this is not a coincidence. That guy who Scott Wiener, he is Ashkenaz, the Ish people, right? I sent you two links.
I'll put up the first one, which is this one here.
So this right here, this is the Forward. Forward is a Jewish newspaper that pushes so-called progressive ideas. And it says that Jews are the most accepting group towards trans people, right? You can close it out. Let's get the next one.
Okay.
I just want to show you all a trend, right? This is not by accident. This same person, Rachel Levine or Richard Levine, if you scroll down to his background, where it says, scroll down to where it says early life, look what it says here. He's Ashkenaz, you see? Jewish again. So you find that there is an underlying trend. When you look behind, when you pull back and look behind the scenes, you're going to find that these people are in position to destroy the earth. That's the bottom line. Corrupt, destroy, mess around, and they are the ones claiming to be the people, God's chosen people.
2939.
The Most High is not anti-life. So that's what I want to interject. Anytime you pull up certain things, go behind the scenes and look at the background. A lot of these people change their names from whatever ish name that they had before, from background, and try to change things up. So just like Kamala is married to a ish person, right? She's a chameleon, and she doesn't have any children of her own. Where's her children?
None.
Be honored as his guest of honor.
Now, when you say 55 years, is it probably closer to the last 15 years that it's been?
No, it's been working. See, I remember the class UCLA 1969, and I remember what was being said back then when people said we hate men for one reason or another, and men are the cause of war, so we're gonna ruin this thing for the men and get rid of masculinity. And you had this problem with Hollywood when it was going broke in the face of color television, and you switched from 2 movies every Thursday and Sunday every week of the year, and Hollywood was going broke, so they said, let's ramp the fee up from 50 cents to $1.50, and we will have 1 movie that stays in as long as we can, so let's attract the most people by going to the lowest common denominator, promoting dysfunction, ridiculousness, and meanwhile we can propagandize the country to get rid of manhood. And that basically is what's been happening.
I want to thank the author for introducing this bill and for leading on this bill and for persevering on this bill, even despite the just horrific personal attacks. People, I think some have been led to believe that this bill somehow applies to every family, and that we heard it at the beginning, that this complete misrepresentation of the bill, that the cops are going to come into people's homes and grab their kids.
Yes, the cops are going to come into your home, because if you try to stop them from taking your son or daughter, what's going to happen? What's going to happen, Mr. Bakar?
Get arrested. You go to the school
Okay.
and you try to stop that
So
stuff.
he's going-
You're gonna have family services at your house.
And he's going to say that, oh, this is not going to happen. Okay.
Kids, because you're not affirming enough. This bill is about divorce proceedings and custody. That's what this is about. This bill is about situations where the family court is already involved, where you are already in court because you have kids, you're getting a divorce, and the court has the job of deciding custody, visitation, etc. Where the court is already scrutinizing every aspect of the family's life.
And we've seen case after case. But the black man, where is he? That's done deliberately. And it started really in the 60s, where the Democrats pushed policy, right, that said to women, particularly black women, you don't need a man in the home. We'll give you more money if you're single. And I grew up in the 70s, and I saw the effects. I saw it in the 80s, the broken home. Now it's more dysfunctional home, where you have some women with 8 children by 5 different fathers. They don't know who their fathers are, in and out. It has almost destroyed the black community. But they're doing it in a different way now. They're promoting black women and want black men to be down here. And I think black men sense that. And they know that Trump relates to them. They relate to Trump very well.
So what do you think is going to be the future of this country with the thing that's going on?
I hope I don't be here. My plans are to pack my shit up and go, baby. I don't know if I'm at the point now, baby, black people, we are done. Like, I have never seen the Wade Plies and Isaac Hayes and D.L. Hewley and these Negroes and Roland Martin is carrying on for this black woman who got a black king that she lay down to and pillow talk to every single night. I just don't know what's gonna happen.
Yes. Mr. Trump.
I know what's gonna happen.
I am Batman.
As your president, I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology. Believe me. And I have to say, as a Republican, it is so nice to hear you cheering for what I just said. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Picard, that is end of this video here. Now, because I had more, this is half of it, okay? But Most High willing, I'll get that back on track so we can see more of the wickedness that these people have. So in all of this darkness, Mr. Picard, the future is very bright for our people, but only for the obedient seed, which do what? Keep his commandments. So this truth that we're talking about here is not for everyone. And not everyone will understand it. In other words, if you accept the truth, then this is for you. If you don't accept the truth, then this is not for you. It's as simple as that. It's not my job to try to convince someone. There's a saying, and we all know this saying, you can lead a horse to what?
To water, but you can't make it drink.
Okay, so you say you can drown it? Okay.
I wanted to say something earlier.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
When you had that sister up with the red hair, right?
Her?
Yeah, no, not that. That's not a sister with red hair.
Oh.
No, I'm talking about the other sister that was talking when she said she's. The guy asked her, the interviewer asked her, "What are you going to do?" She said, "I hope I'm not here."
Oh. You want me to go back there for you?
Yeah, because I want you to pull up two short scriptures.
Let me go back there for you.
Yeah, just play that last part again where she was making her comment.
Right here.
Yeah, play that again.
So what do you think is going to be the future of this country with the thing that's going on?
I hope I don't be here. My plans are to pack my shit up and go, baby. I don't know if I'm at the point now.
Right here?
Yeah, you can stop that. Pull up Isaiah chapter 3, verses 25. Okay. As a matter of fact, pull it up at 24. We'll read from there. I'll read from there, okay? Isaiah chapter 3, verses 24. We're going to read to verses 25, and then we'll go to another portion of the thing. This is what's going to happen, right? This is what's happening right now. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. Instead of a girdle, a rent or torn up clothes, right? And instead of well set hair, weave, baldness, right? Basically. And instead of a stomacher, a grinding of sackcloth and burning instead of beauty. This part is important, verses 25, because this is what's happening with this whole remove the man from society. Your men shall fall by the sword, and your mighty in the war. So if men, Israelite men, are being destroyed, let's get chapter 4, verses 1. If the males are being removed, this is what's going to happen at some point in time. Where this sister said, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to have to get out and go somewhere. But it's going to come to the point, this is what's going to happen to y'all women. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of how many men? 1 man saying, we will eat our own bread. We got our career, right? And wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by your name to take away our reproach. It's going to come down to the point where the men are going to be real men. They're going to be so rare that the sisters are going to be itching. They're going to be thirsty, extra thirsty, because without the men, it's going to be like a whole desert, right? Any cactus, they're going to rub it on any cactus that's out there. That's how dry the desert is going to be. And the Bible is telling us this is a prophecy that is soon to come to pass. And this is something that most people shy away from, but that's the truth. And that's what's going to happen. So what we're talking about here, y'all better believe it. There's an agenda to destroy the Hebrew males. We read that in Exodus, right? Pharaoh says, let us get rid of the males. The agenda is very, very simple. Destroy the seed. Destroy the seed. Overturn the order. That's all I got to say on that. We'll talk about it another time.
That's right. That's right. Where was I? Let me pull this back up here. Mark 4, verses 11 and verse 12.
And he said unto them, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of Elohim. But unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables.
So
And
Mr.
seeing,
to us who are keeping Torah, who are being obedient, who are searching the scriptures, the Most High is going to reveal the things that are needed in the right moments and the right time to save us. But to the rest out there, they're going to be lost. Continue, verse 12.
that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest at any time they should be converted and their sins should be forgiven them. And you know, Brother Shay, when we just kind of like summarizing everything that you played and stuff, really and truthfully, the politics is all about is agenda war.
Yeah.
It's about removing the male's, destroying the male seed. And because Satan has always been angry from the very beginning, this is why he went straight to the woman and put this thing in her head. And the Most High said, listen, you just because of how you behave yourself, your husband is gonna rule over you, the man is gonna rule over you, and you're gonna have to bear children in pain. You're gonna have everything done to you in that manner. I did not make that. It's the Most High who put this thing on the table. But you can see how everything is coming to pass. And you know, the sad thing is that the older sisters are now understanding what a crisis is, right? They played their part in the past, acting a certain way, and now they're gotten older at a certain time and point in life. A lot of them can't have any children anymore, right? And now it's left for the younger women to be able to step up and to do the right thing. But guess what? They don't want to hear this kind of stuff. And so it's going to take a 20-year period for those younger sisters who don't want to submit themselves and do what the Torah says. It's going to take a 20-year period for them to get up to that stage where the older sisters are right now. And then they're going to say, you know, I wish I had listened back then. But by the time they get to that point, they don't have anything to offer a man. Nothing. See, men don't need a whole lot of stuff. They don't really need a lot of stuff. They're very, very, very simple. But the Most High put things in such a way that if we don't produce seed, see, when farmers plant stuff for us to eat, plant oranges and apples and those different things, you have to understand something. There must be a seed to replenish those oranges and those apples and those different things that have been spent. Nobody farms just to have fruit. You got to farm to have seed. You got to also farm to have seed. What's the sense of having a bunch of girls and there's no males to replenish the population, to put life back in? The less males you have, the less opportunity you have to replenish anything in this life.
That's the good question there, because where would life come from? The Most High put the perfect system together, a fail-safe system that the world is trying to destroy.
And he didn't put that in the hands of women. He put it in the hands of men to operate that system, to keep the thing going. Because women go back and forth with emotions and everything else. Men have to be like the sun, always shining. Even if it's a storm, the sun is still shining. A hurricane can be passing through. You go above the clouds, it's bright sunshine. Women are all over the place, but men are stable, and men have to operate like that. But if we operate like women, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. We're in very big trouble.
At this time here, what I want to do is we have a few minutes. I want you to open up the room. Just want to hear some of our brothers and sisters, their thoughts on tonight's class and their experiences, just briefly. Anybody could raise their hand, and then you could allow them to say a few words tonight.
No problem. So let's see the first hand, and then I'll open up the.
If you want to say anything, Mishpaka, now is the chance you could say a little something.
And I know some folks are gonna be mad, Brother Yona, you're back to that stuff again. You know, just unsubscribe and all kinds of stuff. That's listen. Prophecy have a way of fulfilling, maybe not the same day, but it takes a period of time. And a lot of things has been said here and have been said over the years. It's really coming to pass, right? It's coming to pass. Just look and see how things are moving. The direction is moving. And whatever's happening here in America, trust me, you go to Uganda and Kenya, in Africa, you can run to Africa, you're going to find it's a big problem because these people here in America, they control, the Europeans, the Gentiles basically control, the European Gentiles control how the rest of the world is going to go. They just have to drop a plague. They just have to have a coup in the country. You can be comfortable in your country, wake up one morning, and everybody's running in the streets with machetes. What's going on? Oh, there's a coup. The president is dead. Why? Well, because he didn't sign the LGBTQ paperwork, right? He turned, and now we got somebody who put things in place to overthrow the company. Look at Gaddafi.
Oh yeah, and even from Cuba, what's his name again? Castro. You know, there's several documentaries out there that when you go research, a lot of these men were trying to fight for the people's rights, and this agenda that we see here on the screen, it wasn't going towards what they were pushing, so they took these men out.
And Cuba's a good example of how things have been stifled. I mean, they're still driving cars from 1950s. That don't make any sense, right? So it goes to show that if they want to shut Africa down, they can do it easily. They already got what you call Peace Corps. Peace Corps is just another operation system where they train people to subvert and do different things and to spy or whatever it is. All of those different organizations have their role, their purpose. And so when you're thinking that, I'm going to leave America and go somewhere else, think again. Think again. Because, you know, the Bible show you the statue with Rome being the last empire and the 10 toes with that's mixed with clay and iron. Mishpachah, Rome is everywhere. Any hands, anyone want to share any thoughts about what you all seen tonight? Because this is the reality, man. And most of our people are already past, 40 years old, right? So they've already done that, been there and done that already. And so it's important that the younger generation play their part. We need to have the younger people on board, right? Because for our people, look at what's going on. The lyrics of music is poisoning the minds of our people. They're confused. I remember watching some years ago, like on YouTube, there's a lot of young Hebrew boys, 14, 15, rapping about being gay. And they're like moving like with gangs and guns and all. I couldn't believe it, what I was seeing. Pushing that stuff. I couldn't believe it. But there's a definite setup. And if you go behind the people who are pushing the rap industry, you're going to see it's Ashkenaz. So they're pushing the removal of our people. You go behind the ministries, the so-called church, you'll find Ashkenazis behind there too. Why is it that every time our people go out to march or whatever it is, you find Ashkenaz right there, like a familiar spirit? Right there, in the midst of everything.
Call them the shadow.
When a lot of our guys go out and start talking against certain things, all of a sudden Ashkenaz shows up and says, we're going to shut you down. We're going to find out where your money's coming from. We're going to block that. If you're trying to travel to go certain places, we're going to go to the embassy and says this person can't travel. To stop the money, we'll stop your YouTube channel. We'll stop this. They're blocking everything because they are the ones in charge. And they're the ones pushing this death style. How can you claim to be the people of the book When in Tel Aviv, in Israel, they got what do you call that desert thing? Burning Man type stuff going on in Israel. When the so-called October 7th thing happened, that was a Burning Man festival that was going on over there.
That's right.
That stuff promotes sickness, promotes wickedness. How come those people don't be protesting against that kind of a death style? It's crazy. But they are all around the world destroying civilizations. And El Papa church system is no different. They're all, like you said, it's both sides are playing the game to subvert and destroy, Mishpachah. So if you join with Batman or the Joker, it's like that show that they put out where they take all the criminals and make them heroes. What's that show?
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, yeah. So you take the Joker's crew and you put them out there to go help the earth. It's like that don't make any sense. That don't make any sense. But that's exactly what we have going on in this world right now. And it's going to be very interesting. Like you said, you showed Trump pushing the sodomite stuff. Nobody's talking about that. Giuliani, his buddy, was wearing high-heeled shoes and drag. You can probably pull it up for the people to see it, right? And Trump had his nose up in Giuliani's chest, smelling the perfume. Now, who would want to do something like that? That's madness. And you claiming to be stand up for righteousness, and then you want to talk about Obama and all this other stuff, but Obama's pushing that, you're pushing that, everybody's pushing that stuff. You go to the church, that all of a sudden the pastor's speaking about, oh, God is love and he loves everybody, so you can't really speak about law. Law is done away with. It's prosperity, it's mercy, it's grace. Yeah, Giuliani was Giuliani in drag. Giuliani Trump in drag or something like that. Giuliani in drag. Yeah. You'll see the video. Probably right there it is right there. See Giuliani?
Back in the day, young.
Yeah, you can click on one of those, anyone, and just show you, make it bigger. So that's Giuliani right there, right? And Trump was smelling up on him.
That's what it says right here. Donald Trump. Right there.
People making fun of Obama and what they presume is his wife or whatever the case may be. But the whole thing is a setup. And our people are buying the setup real fast, How come in the DC comics, Batman can never get rid of a murderer like the Joker? With all the tools that he have at his disposal, how come he never take the Joker out? The Joker's killing everybody, blowing up people, destroying lives, but you can't seem to get this person removed from society. And everybody's supposed to be afraid of you, but you can't get rid of the thing. It's crazy. They're talking about draining the swamp, but yet they're the ones who built the swamp and put the mosquitoes in there and the leeches. It's crazy, brothers and sisters. It's crazy. Well, I guess nobody is going to raise their hand. Brother Pincus, you put a scripture in there saying that how you're going to, the Most High is going to make a man. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. That might be you, Brother Pincus. That might be you. But at some point in time, as much as many of our sisters don't like the idea of so-called sharing a man, it's going to come down to the point where they're not going to be any men out there. There might be one or two running around, and they probably won't even want to be bothered, right? But that's the way the world is moving right now. That is the way the world is moving. And just prepare yourself. If not with you, think about your children, the world that they're going to have to grow up in. It's going to be a mad, mad world. And I never thought, as a young man coming up, 14, 15 years old, that the world was going to be as crazy as it is right now. Transformers? That don't make any sense. And now you're talking about teaching this stuff in school. So what about math and stuff? That should be the main thing. Making sure that the children can learn how to read and spell and write, different things of that nature, so they can have a future to interact and build something. How about a trade school? You're going to talk about gender identity? That is so important. And about killing babies? That's what you're running on? How about trying to help society be better in the sense of better quality food? They should be having a platform against the GMOs and all that stuff, about seedless watermelons and seedless this and seedless that and the poisons. Hey, I sent you an article that you need to pull up, probably if you can, since no one is going to raise their hand, about the Doritos.
Okay, you can pull that up.
The Doritos, Mishpachah. One of our people's favorite snacks, right? Doritos. There's a thing in Doritos. I mean, the dye in Doritos used in an experiment, like it says right there, like a magic trick, created see-through mice. That's what's in the foods these days, right? What's it called?
Tartazine.
Tartazine. I can't really see it. The things are really, really small. So, okay. But you can see it says that the experiment arose from a quiet for better method to see tissue and organs within the body. The researchers chose tartrazine because the dye molecules absorb blue and ultraviolet light, which makes it easier for light to pass through the mouse's skin. So the Doritos got that stuff in there.
This is a bright yellow orange food coloring used in Doritos and other foods, drugs and cosmetics. So again, and this is leading towards that stuff with the pharmakia and what these wicked people have been doing for so long, just messing with everything. That's why we try our best to do the best what we have as far as growing your own things, planting your own stuff, cooking your own food versus going and buying food out.
Making your own Doritos. Just get your own corn, ground it up, put your cheese with it. You know what I mean? Bake it in the oven. Make your own Doritos.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Ema tried that experiment years ago. It came out all right. But this is the world that we live in, and you would think that people can see where the world is going and say, hey, let me run on a platform to wake people up so that we can stop the destruction of the earth. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. They want to sit around and talk about and laugh over politics and talk about a woman's right to what does that have? How is a woman's right? How many times does a woman get pregnant for the year? But once. Normally, right? Once for the year. So my question is, how many times do you have to eat?
Every day.
Every day. So where should your focus be? On the prices of food and gas and those different things, quality life. You mean to tell me out of all the things that has happened to us, where food is so expensive, clothing is expensive, everything is expensive, that I'm going to sit around talking about Philly Boom, killing a child from Philly Boom. Mm-hmm. If they don't want to have children, why don't they just simply go have the wombs removed and don't worry about, just have a hysterectomy. Just be done with it. Instead of killing a child, just remove your womb. That's it. Nobody's running that platform. They're not going on and says, tell you what, we are all for women's rights. We want to set up a new clinic. It's going to call hysterectomy, planning hysterectomy, where all women who believe in abortion, rather than going to that stage, you can go and you pay the same price you pay for an abortion. You can come here and you can have your tubes removed completely.
No, there's no money in that. Again, the pharmacia is what's linked to that. And you said they use the woman's parts for that. Yeah, I mean, to some degree, it's in cosmetics and different things too. But they like the new fresh cells and the blood that's coming in from the child itself, stem cells.
I have a question here from anonymous attendee. Says, I have seen through the YouTube space that a good amount of men are choosing video games, personal achievements, and other women outside the United States, and foregoing marriage in droves than dealing with an independent woman. Anonymous attendee, I don't know if you're a man or woman, you can probably let us know, but that is correct. A lot of men, what they're doing now is they're saying, you know what, I'm done with it. It's just too much headache to deal with, especially with Israelite women. So I'm going to keep my money. I'm just going to go out, go to the gym, take care of myself. I'll travel abroad and marry some Filipino woman somewhere else, or go to Brazil and get a woman because of the so-called independent woman over here. There are some good, still have a very few good women who truly would be a benefit to our household, but they're so few. And unfortunately, a lot of them are women who already past a certain age. Okay, so it makes it even harder when you pass a certain age, because a man always he's always generating. This is why the Bible says procreate, right? He's always generating like the Most High. Women comes with everything while they're still in their mother's womb. All the eggs that they will ever have for their entire life is at that point. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Once that's gone, it's gone. You can't get it back. You cannot get it back. But men are always okay. And anonymous is a man. Okay, thank you.
I believe the Most High is like he did with Elijah and the prophets. I think he's reserving those good Hebrews for the right time. It's just a matter of time. So
you have a lot of hope, huh?
Well, be patient with the process, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is true to some extent, but the Most High's words has to come to pass, because if you watch some of the movies, we've talked about it, like the one called Why the Last Man, The End of Men, and the list goes on, where there's some kind of plague or something happens where the male gender has been removed, or something has happened to them, causing women to be in charge. Women and transformer women, anyone who has, and so what happens is that they show you how society has just fell apart. Most of the women turn out to be lesbians. The whole thing just falls apart. Infrastructure crumbles. Everything just starts to gradually fall apart, and then there's a lot of infighting. They start fighting with each other. Fighting. Nobody can. And there was a show called Survivor. I don't know if you remember that, where they put women alone in one group and men alone, and the same island, different parts, and they had to survive. The men got together and talked about who's going to be doing what, and whoever was able to have the strength to do it, hey, go ahead, buddy. I'll support you. I got your back. You go do this. And they got the fire, they got the things together, while the women were still arguing on the other side. They couldn't get any food, and then they had to intervene to try to make things, try to save the women.
That TV series, War of the Worlds, is what's called. The whole agenda behind of it is to take the babies.
Is that right?
I find it very interesting with the same thing going on. Get the children.
What network is that playing on, Brother Shay?
I think it is what's that again?
That's a TV series, right?
Yeah,
Not the movie
Amazon.
with
Prime.
Tom Cruise, but the TV series or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. It's on Prime.
Prime, okay.
Yeah.
And it's all about getting the babies, you said?
Yep. And I don't want to spoil it, but basically aliens came. That's what they push. And they're taking the babies away. So that's as far as I got so far. I don't know yet. I ain't get that far.
That's totally different from the movie itself.
Yeah, War of the Worlds. It's not the movie. It's a TV series. It's a British mini series. I think there's like 3 seasons or 4 seasons. I can't remember. And it started during COVID. They made it during COVID, but they're not making it anymore. It's very interesting. Basically, the world shut down. Is what happened. So, but Mishpachah, yes, I appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Again, we was talking about the political wars we see is going on there. We had a little conversation. Hopefully, we can make the changes in our lives, continue to wake up our people, and serve the Most High in all righteousness, because that's what we're called to do. Continue serving the Most High in every which way, no matter what happens. We have plenty of examples. Don't get caught up with the heathen's business, like I say. We have our own things to do. Let's take care of Hebrews' business and not heathen's business. Any last words, Rebbe? I'll let Elder pray.
Yeah, my last words for tonight's discussion would be, remember what happened with Pharaoh when Moses was about to be born. The agendas, remember, that was because the deliverer was about to come on the scenes, and the agenda was, let us reduce the Hebrews. And if you notice carefully, they are always using our own women to try to destroy us. And that's what they tried to do. But you had a couple women with sense enough in their head to say, we're not doing that. And the Most High blessed them and prospered them mightily because they were willing to save the babies. But Israelites were multiplying. How do you multiply from 70 souls, Jacob and, the family? 70 souls came into Egypt. And then within a short period of time, you have all of those children being born. That it now becomes a political war,
Even in captivity, the booming of the Philly is still happening.
Well, you see, people don't realize that the Most High gave us pleasure for one reason. If He takes away pleasure, nobody's going to be interested in procreating at all. Just like food, if He doesn't give you good taste, you're not going to be interested in some plain old bread or whatever it is. You don't have the taste. He gave that for a reason so that we can have children. And the Bible says in the book of Psalms, lo, children is His heritage. That's the only thing he requires. He says, be fruitful and multiply, because He created everything. This is what the book of Genesis, to generate, to procreate. He says, I didn't make this earth in vain. I made it to be inhabited. And brethren, if we don't really invest in what the Most High wants from us, right, we're going to pay a high price, because the kingdom to come is not going to be some deadbeat kingdom. The first thing that the Most High is going to do when he destroy the enemy is beat the swords, the thing that kill, into something that's going to produce food, life, plow and share. You're going to have to work the ground again. You're going to have to produce. You're going to have to bear children. You're going to have to do these things again. Because why? We are not interested in doing these things. All we want to have is, what do you call it, BBE, whatever the thing that they're doing, suction and all kinds of stuff people are trying to do and shape. And nobody wants to be, have children anymore. BBL, thank you. See, I don't even, all that nonsense. Anyway, Mishpachah, that's my few words, and thank you, Brother O'Shea, for a wonderful presentation.
All praise. Elder?
Yes, I just want to thank the Heavenly Father for the teaching tonight. It is really a wonderful teaching. And each time that Brother Yana and Brother O'Shea come in, they're always doing some great things to wake up the Israelites. I pray tonight, family, that as we hear, as all of us hear what's going on in this world and the things that they are planning to do, let us try our best. Those of us that have this understanding, let us try our best to build our families. Have our families get settled down, married, and have our children, our families, build up our homes, and make things look bright. Tell the devil that he is a liar, and we are going to be saved in Elohim's kingdom. I just pray that we all will do that tonight. Take heed and do the best thing we can do. Whatever you can do, do it, and the Lord will bless you. Hallelujah.
Amen.
All praises to the Most High. Let us pray. Father in heaven, we are so thankful, so grateful again tonight for the teaching by the O'Shea, what you had laid upon his heart, and he bring it forward, Holy Father. As the seed plant, Father, I pray that thou may allow it to grow, that your children will be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth, because this is what you want us to do. Be with us, bless Brother O'Shea, bless Brother Yona, and give them more of the words that they can share it to us continually. We pray that thou may give us a good night rest as we dismiss from each other. Help us not to dismiss from you. Keep us, Father, in tune. Help us to keep our life shining, that the enemy will disappear and you will be exalted. Give us a good night rest, because we love you and we thank you. Through your Son Yeshua we pray. Amen.
Amen. Love you all. Stay strong, stay sharp. We say Lila Tov.
Let the words of our mouth and the meditation of our hearts
be acceptable in your sight, O Yah, strength and redeemer. Shalom, Mishpachah, Lila Tov, shalom.
Tsunami and left sickness, danger valley. Quick to transgress, playing with fire continually. The retinal scans as time advance for the technology. Where they stop, only one knows the Almighty. Some serial killers company, woman laboratory. Eugenics project side effect, comment the baby. Medicinal bag of chips with baby greedy dummy. Marionette of the money, the money power hungry. Humanity been trodden in place already. Insanity